Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to HSFL Paranormal Live. Today my special guest is going to be Panic D, our haunted travels. And I will mute that. I forgot to do that. I am so sorry about that. Real quick, if Panic D, if you could send me your address. I'm doing so good, Leah. Thank you so much. If you could send me your email address, PanicD on Twitter Messenger, so I can add you to the Hangout and get this party started. Oh man, right when Green Bay Wacky goes live. Hey, Kelly Paulson, hello. Bambi, it's so good to see you. How you doing? God bless you too. Chris and Claudia Panna. So if anybody's wondering why I had hid Chad, it's because his account alerted me to it being a bot account. So that is why I did it. Camden Cruz, hello. There was an alligator? Wow. That's no good. Hey, Stocks Explorer, hello, my friend. How you doing? All right, let me add that. Let's see. Okay, cool. Panic D, our haunted travels. Cool. Oh, not much, man. I'm just about to do this awesome live stream with Panic D, our haunted travels. It is so good to see everybody. Mom and Kids life videos. Hello, my friends. What the paranormal? How you doing? It's good to see you. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to this. 17 people watching right now. Thank you so much. If my moderators could hook up the Nightbot and all that and use that, that would be awesome. Hey, welcome, Sean. If my moderators could, let's see. Sean and Marion, welcome to HSFL Paranormal.
Can you guys hear us?
I can hear you now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir. How's your guys' day going so far?
If we were having any more fun, it'd probably be illegal.
I hear you. Marion's all shaking her head.
All right, so we're getting. Give me 1 second, because.
Is that feedback on your side, or?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it.
Gotcha.
There we go. There, that's better. Now I don't hear voices.
21 people watching right now. Thank you, or 22 actually. Awesome. What the paranormal? Welcome.
Now wait a minute. There's 23 watching, and only 17 thumbs up. Come on, smash that thumbs up for HSL Paranormal. Got to even that out there a little bit.
Absolutely. Hell Kitten, hello. It is so good to see you.
Hell Kitten, hello.
Wow. Okay. So definitely my main focus of this this interview with you with this awesome team here. To my followers who do not know who this is Panic D. In the description is their link to their channel, and if you go into my channel and look through my research videos of different paranormal groups that I have added, you can actually go and look at the videos that I watched to conduct this interview. So that is also really cool. And I think the thing I'm going to most focus on today is going to be your Lizzie Borden, since that was your most recent thing.
Oh, well, you don't need me. That's just her. No.
That was something I really wanted to focus on because I'm so infatuated by the Lizzie Borden case, and I love like criminal justice stuff, and I also love the paranormal, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a paranormal channel. But yeah, I mean, this is so crazy what other people have experienced. There's been thousands and thousands and thousands of reports of paranormal activity in that home. So I wanted to kind of get your story. I have some questions. To my knowledge, this place is a bread and breakfast and a museum.
That is correct.
So what are your thoughts on it? Like what kind of stuff did you experience there personally? I heard you had some EVPs. Some footsteps were heard, but you ended up later debunking those. Is that correct?
No, no, we did not debunk them.
No, I meant you debunked the footsteps, correct?
No.
Oh,
no. No. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the Lizzie Borden experience for us. Okay, so we've been to several places. I mean, several, like over 200 places. The Lizzie Borden, when we went there, normally when I do an EVP session, I don't play it back right there on spot because I don't carry everything with me, like the computers. And, you know, when we fly out, we just take recorders and that kind of stuff. While we were sitting there in the room with where Andrew Borden was found doing an EVP session, something just told me to play it back. And I played it back and I got this, what I thought was a cackle in the recorder, and I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm done. You know, and it took me a while to listen to EVPs, like 3 or 4 months after that. Like we would keep recording it, but I was just kind of like, okay, maybe I went a little too far here, that type of thing. But the footsteps that you're talking about, we spent the night in the room where they found Abby Borden.
So that was in the bedroom, and on the left side of the bed is where they found her body, correct?
Right, correct. Right. That's the room where we spent the night in. And after everything was said and done and calmed down, we went up to bed and was in bed doing an EVP session. And I was kind of like nodding off because you could hear in the recording like my breath getting heavier, like I'm starting to fall asleep. That's when we heard the footsteps.
And I wanted to leave it. I wanted to leave it running all night while we slept. You know, just in case somebody came to tuck us in or something. You know.
Which somebody did, and then we have that out there, that those footsteps, like somebody stepped away from the bed.
Jesus, jeez. That's cool. I mean, you didn't feel like necessarily that like the spiritual energy there was evil. It was just maybe trying to get your attention.
Yeah, we've been to other places where you could definitely sense that, you know,
there's something wrong.
Yeah, I didn't feel threatened or anything like that.
No, but you were like really excited.
I was really excited and interested, you know.
So that kind of plays a part.
I love the Lizzie case, and so I was super excited to be there. They think they knew that.
So let me see through my notes here. So I believe in November 13th of 2015 is when you last stayed there, or did you go there recently?
No, that was our only time.
Oh, nice. Is this somewhere where you would...
It was a Friday, the 13th, by the way. That was Friday, the 13th.
I think I had that in my notes. I forgot about it, but that's crazy, too.
Actually, that trip...
Friday, November the 13th, 2015. Jeez.
Yeah, that trip, actually, we were in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
For her conference.
And we drove over.
It's only like a 45-minute, an hour drive from there to Fall River. 45. So we, decided to take advantage of that and went to Lizzie Borden. The flight trying to get back home was scarier than the Lizzie Borden house, to be honest with you. I didn't think we were going to make it back.
Was it just bad turbulence and storms and stuff?
No, pretty much the plane didn't show up.
And they're like, oh, well, sorry, it didn't show up.
Yeah, then I got a little bit irate because we had to go out of TSA and back in. And, of course, I got a little bit loud. And
yeah, it's the only airport that I've ever been to where if your flight is canceled, they don't just take your luggage and transfer it to a different airline or a different flight for you. They actually spit it back out. You have to go back out, claim it in baggage claim, and then go back through all of the check-in process again. You have to go back through security and everything. I'm like, are you serious right now? Because I have flown and had flights canceled and bumped to different airlines and everything. They just like in the background, just move your bags around. Not in Providence.
Yeah. So next time we go out to Fall River, we'll be flying into Boston. I'm going to bypass the Providence airport.
So Boston's probably the best. If there's any of my viewers who are ever interested in going to the Lizzie Borden house, the best way to probably get there is to fly into Boston.
Yeah, it's about an hour from Boston. Actually, Boston, it's an hour to Fall River, Massachusetts, where you have the Lizzie Borden house, Maplecroft, and Oak Grove Cemetery.
Okay.
An hour like southwest, which is pretty simple drive, and then an hour south or northeast is Salem, Massachusetts. So,
oh wow! So the Salem witch trials is not all that far away from that too.
So that's kind of what we're planning in the trip in the future, is to fly to Boston and hit both places.
Awesome. So. I didn't have the only videos that I did not get to before this interview was the Maple Cross, or how did you say it?
Maplecroft?
Yeah, Maplecroft. I did not get to those videos, unfortunately. So if you could tell my viewers what is at the Maplecroft, it has to do something with Lizzie Borden and what happened with that whole ordeal. Correct?
So Maplecroft is actually the home that Lizzie and her sister Emma purchased after the trial. They ended up moving there. That was where she wanted to live, up on the hill. So that's kind of a little bit further away. It's not that far from the house where the murders happened.
Like a mile and a half from the.
But that's where Lizzie ended up spending the rest of her life.
It's a huge mansion. Yeah.
So that's where they had their famous falling out. Emma and Lizzie had their split, and then Emma left, and Lizzie stayed there for the rest of her life. She did die there and have her wake right there in that house.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to say hi to some people real quick. Irish Whiskey 77.
Irish Whiskey.
Texas Life Julie, Lady Raiden Returns, Hell Kitten, Leah Loves Lily, PSPR, Paranormal Pursuit.
PSPR.
And Hell Kitten.
Hell Kitten. I said Hell Kitten.
You said Hell Kitten earlier, yeah.
Let's see. Maureen Donnelly, welcome. Rock.
That's me, Marianne.
Marianne.
Marianne Donnelly. Okay, so
yeah, I'm the other half of Panic D.
Okay. Gotcha. So let me make sure you're a moderator on here and get that all set through. So I'm sorry, I do apologize.
That's all right. I know you just know me as Lizzie.
I did watch that video, yes. Let's see. So also there.
What's it centered on me?
The Lizzie Borden house has actually changed hands through the last few decades. Tell my viewers something. How many people roughly have bought the property? At one time, I heard it was a business. What you were discussing, some kind of printing, and that was super, super cool.
It's been, I can't remember the exact number. It was like 14 times or so. It changed hands several times.
Originally, when it was built, it was like a duplex.
Right.
Okay, so there's a family upstairs, a family downstairs.
Correct.
And the Bordens bought it and converted it to a single family home.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the trials and after the Bordens got rid of it, that's when it
started to change hands.
Yeah.
The Borden sisters kept the home for a number of years after, and they did use it as a rental, basically. So they had a lot of fluctuation in and out with individuals who were staying there. But then it was purchased and handed off several times after that. And right now, it is the same owner that now has just purchased Maplecroft as well. So Leanne Wilbur and her partner are the two current owners of the 2 Borden homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes, they did have a little bit of a printing kind of company that was in there at one point in the midst of it all. And actually the house next door, which is Ladwick Borden, Lizzie's father's uncle, that home was actually the first Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast. They actually had a bed and breakfast in there for a while and called it the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast. And then eventually when the actual home is made available again, they turned that one into the bed and breakfast.
Wow. That's awesome. It's actually not too far away from where I work. I work in a bread and breakfast that's rumored to be haunted. Like the whole community knows it's haunted. My boss likes to try to not
downplay that.
Yeah, exactly. She likes to totally ignore the fact that like we've had. Okay, so one time one of the maids had alerted me like something weird was going on, and the room where this lady had lived there for 49 years. She's totally attached to the room, and she is rumored to haunt the place. And her name is Dolly McKean, and the name of the room is actually Dolly. And so I go into the room and I turn on my spirit box because I carry it. I have it on my phone downloaded. And so I played it and I said, "Who's speaking with me right now?" And it said Dolly McKean. I kid you not. And I was just dumbfounded. The maids both looked at me like, "Are you kidding me? Did it just say that?" And then all of a sudden the problem with the electrical all fixed itself. And we were just like dumbfounded, like we're like, really, this is all it took. It wasn't a fried electrical system. It was just a spirit manipulating the electricity in the room. But yeah, so it's almost kind of similar to, not on the level of Lizzie Borden, of course. This place has like one spirit where Lizzie Borden seems to have tons.
Yeah, there's multiple there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think the main spirit at the Lizzie Borden house is Andrew,
right? Her father.
So
that's most of the reports.
In 3 locations around the property, correct?
Well, not around the property. She's been seen at the 2nd Street home, at Maplecroft, and at the cemetery.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And all around the Lizzie Borden house, correct?
Yeah, because
several places on the property.
And I think a lot of that could be residual. Mm-hmm. Too, but her story was when the bad stuff happened to her father, is that she was out in the barn. Well, that original barn they tore down, and since they rebuilt like a replica of it, and that's where the gift shop and there's like apartment above where the owners live, or the manager who's there at the time. And it's very, and that's one thing I want to say about the Lizzie Borden house is, based on photographs and stuff that they have, they put it back to almost the way it was back there, when the Bordens were there.
Yeah, so they've tried really hard.
That whole place is like a trigger object.
Wow. Because of the, I guess, the renovations done to the location is probably what triggered the spirits to
like stirring it back up again
more, because it reminds them so much of what it formerly was.
Right, and they're bringing back items like the museum part that you talked about. They're bringing back items that actually belong to the Bordens, and if they can't find them, they're getting replicas made. Like that couch that's there now. That's
couch
a replica
that you were laying on, and I guess you were probably trying to replicate what it looked like when Mr. Borden was found. I'm guessing that's what the pose was for on the couch.
Right. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a replication.
She actually replicated where Mrs. Borden, I guess, was the stepmother of Lizzie and Emma.
Correct.
And she was laying face down on the floor. And there is that myth that she was whacked 40 times by an axe, which was actually, what, in 19 times?
Yeah,
it was 19. Yeah.
Okay. And then the father was whacked somewhere in the 10 range.
Yeah,
Yes,
10 to
10 to 11. Even the coroner's report was like, well, it's either 10 or 11.
Yeah,
They
it
couldn't
was so
quite
bad,
tell.
they couldn't quite tell.
But that second autopsy where they counted them really was on the 7th, which was, well, the 11th, which was like 7 days after the event. So it was pretty rife by that point and starting to have some degeneration. Let's put it that way.
For sure.
Because it was August, you know.
I wanted to say, I love your guys' channel, and that whole Boris thing is awesome. I want to actually one day get a hello Boris. I want to one day get a travel Boris, and where could I find one?
Well, right now we're giving one away next
Friday night.
Next Friday, so people can go and catch our Enter to Win It video we have on our channel.
Okay, I'll definitely have to make sure I check that out.
Basically, it's really simple. I'll tell you what's in the video. You don't even have to watch it. Basically, you go to our channel, subscribe, ring the bell, take a screenshot, send us an email, and in the subject line, put #PickMe. So we're giving away at least 10 items next Friday night. One of them is going to be a travel Boris. We got T-shirts and drawstring bag, Marianne's apron from the recipe, not the exact same one that she wore, but similar, and
another copy of it.
Yeah, the big prize is a $50 Amazon card.
Right.
So.
Wow.
But we'll be at Hillview Manor next week on Saturday if anybody's in the Newcastle area, and I'll have some travel Borises there if you'd like to pick one up there. Otherwise, we're going to be opening a store
we're working
soon.
on a community store, actually, for multiple YouTubers that come in. So instead of having our own separate store, so to speak, it's going to be part of that. Hit the mic. It's going to be part of that community store. So we'll have travel Borises on there. It's just another one of those projects I got that I'm working on. So
that is so awesome.
Last night I was working on 4 projects at the same time. I did a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and I'm trying to push all 4 of them forward. So
yeah, personally, I think he has a little bit of ADD, but he keeps bouncing from project to project each night. He just kind of bounces back in a little circle, and he gets stuff done eventually. No.
Yeah, it gets done.
Yeah, sometimes 2 or 3 things in one night.
I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm definitely have to make sure I stay on track. That's why with the Lizzie Borden stuff, I had to take copious amounts of notes so I wouldn't forget and get off topic. I mean, it's okay to get off topic like briefly, but like that's why I have my guideline here, because I tend to get off really fast. So
see, that's my problem when I do a show and don't have notes, is I might say something and that's where I get the nails in the leg.
That's right. That's where he gets the claws.
Watch what you're saying.
So how many people can actually stay at the Lizzie Borden house for the people that are not do not know about the bread and breakfast there?
I'm pretty sure that the maximum number is 20 or 22. There's a certain number per room that they allow, or per floor. And you can rent an entire floor, you can rent just one room, or you can rent the entire building. And so it'll depend really on you and what you're planning to rent, how many would stay in the house. But I believe the maximum is 20 or 22. I think it's 22. So that's pretty much it.
It's a pretty big. It doesn't look very big, but it's a pretty big.
Yeah, it's got a very small footprint, but they've turned some of the rooms that didn't used to be bedrooms into bedrooms, so that's why you can have more individual stay. Like Mr. and Mrs. Borden's dressing room, where his office desk was, that's actually a bedroom now. You have Emma's room, Lizzie's room. They call it John Morris room. That's where Mrs. Borden was killed. You have the upstairs with the Knowltons. You have the Borden's bedroom themselves.
Okay.
So you could get a variety.
Nice.
I think it's really excited.
I do. I love the Lizzie Borden house.
I that's definitely on my haunted paranormal bucket list of places.
Now, where are you located at?
I'm actually in Central California.
Oh,
we're going to San Diego in November.
We are.
November. Oh, we actually might be checking out the Whaley House towards the end of the year down in San Diego.
We're going to head there in November.
First week in November.
Yeah.
maybe I can talk to my team, see what we can do. If you haven't checked out my team, it's Presence of the Unknown. We're relatively small right now, but we're getting there. I've been really trying to promote them. We've all been to a variety of haunted locations before we started this team, and now that we found a common ground and wanted to start something of our own, so far we've explored all of the haunted myths around Central California. That goes from Monterey to Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo, where I live. So like that whole central coast of California is where we're investigating all the different haunted myths. And
have you done Disney yet?
I actually have not. I've been to Disneyland. I can't tell you how many times because I actually was raised not too far from Disneyland. But I've always noticed that there is something weird about
it. It's
definitely haunted.
Yeah.
Like,
it has several claims.
It's coming up on our channel.
I've seen the ghost of Walt Disney. There's a rumor that bodies are buried under the Haunted Mansion ride. And the real bone, there's actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean, there's real bones that are used for that Walt Disney had purchased from UCLA Medical Center that he uses in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah, we're going to be featuring Disneyland at some point on our channel.
Well, when you do, let me know when you're headed there.
One of the big
try to meet you in Orange County.
Well, we're not going there. We already went there. That's a problem with our channel is we're featuring places we've already been.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because we've been doing this since 2010, and in 2017 is when we started working on our haunted travels. So we have stuff that dates back to 2010 that we've been to. So.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, because I noticed like to this video that I'm talking about right now, you went to in 2015, but you're only bringing it up now in 2018. So that's
right.
2 years so. Cool. Yeah, I lived in North Carolina and actually where the hurricane's hitting right now, Wilmington area of southeastern North Carolina. And that place is incredibly haunted. Like, I mean, there is some stuff that when I was working there, and I'm not surprised by a lot of the paranormal stuff anymore because I've experienced it so much. But Wilmington was like every time because I actually worked in pest control, so I had to go into a lot of old houses, and I could instantaneously feel when there was a haunted house. And then I'm like, I would go to the homeowner. I'm like, have you ever had some weird paranormal activity? They're like, yes. I'm like, because I went down into your basement and good golly gosh, like something like was staring at me right in my face. Like, because I would hear footsteps when the homeowner wouldn't be there and stuff like that. And I would be like, geez, I wish I could investigate this. But the hotel I work at right now is actually about the same size as the Lizzie Borden. Sounds like our max capacity is 26 or supposed to be 26 people, 13 rooms, and it's actually no double beds. They're all queen size beds except for one which has a king. But yeah, it's what is the room layout in Lizzie Borden? Is it like double beds or is it just singles?
They're pretty much double.
Doubles? Okay. Yeah. Got you. Because so many people probably visit.
Upstairs in the maid's room, Bridget's room, I think it's a single bed, but I think all the other ones are doubles.
Gotcha. So I noticed also when one of your videos, they have a museum there, and on one of the shelves are all of Lizzie Borden's books that she personally had signed herself.
Yeah, so up in the Lizzie Borden bedroom, in Lizzie's bedroom herself, there are several books that were hers. They're actually in plastic wrappings, and they actually have her name written in them that she wrote when she, said property of Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, the whole house is a museum. So
Right.
basically, when you go and stay there, you're sleeping in a museum, which
Right.
is kind of weird. I mean, we've been to other places that's like that too, like the Farnsworth is like that too. And you just kind of don't want to touch anything because they have
Right.
it set up like a museum. But yeah, the whole place is a bed and breakfast and museum.
Look who just joined the chat. Sorry to interrupt. The Patty from the G Team Paranormal Investigators just joined us. What a honor to have you in our chat. Thank you so much. Wow. She is now a moderator on this channel as well. If you don't know who the G Team Paranormal is, I'm pretty sure you're living under a rock. They are an amazing channel. Patty and Omar, James the Fam, like they are the paranormal mecca channels to go check out. Like these people are amazing and have been on YouTube for a very long time. And it is just amazing to have the honor of the G Team actually popping up here.
So you're saying I need to make the statement, G Team, if you want to collab, just hit us up.
Yes.
Collab on a video.
This would be the team to collab with. This is like my dream team to collab with. They are actually in Spring Hill, Florida, I believe, somewhere in that ballpark. Whereas near Tampa area. They are an amazing channel. Please go check them out as well. Highly recommended. I've been a fan of theirs for quite some time. So you had a EVP where Lizzie Borden's father was murdered. I didn't hear a male's voice, but I definitely did hear a woman's voice.
Yeah, that's the one where I was saying where I played it back. When I first played it back, that scratching noise on that EVP video, I thought it was like a cackle. Because here, let me set it up what I was doing. I was sitting there, and normally, like when we start out an EVP session, we lay out the devices and we say, you know, there's a device over there that you could walk by or wave your hand, a K2 meter, and we could tell that you're here. Or you can come over and speak in any of these devices that have orange lights, or hers is a red light or something like that. Leave us a message and we'll hear it back later. So right after I said that, there was a scratch, like my recorder moved. Now, my recorder was actually sitting. I wasn't touching it. Okay, so it was actually sitting off to the side. And then, real faint, in a woman's voice, you actually hear, seriously?
Yeah, I heard seriously. That's what I had heard.
Yeah.
And I was just listening, like...
It's like, we've been through this before.
And this was on a recorder, correct?
Yes.
Digital recorder.
Digital recorder.
Wow. And you didn't hear this until you played it back over and over again.
Well,
Right.
yeah, well, when I originally played it back when I was there, I heard that scratching noise. So something actually had moved the recorder to make that, like the scratch over the microphone, you know, kind of like that. So I heard that back and I thought it was a cackle, you know, like they're laughing at me. But underneath that, you hear, seriously?
Yeah. And
I didn't hear it till after. Like, actually, we started doing the videos, actually, is when I heard it.
Right. I was sitting on the couch, the replica couch of where Andrew was murdered, and you were sitting in the chair right across.
Yeah, and the recorder was sitting like on an ottoman or something off to the side.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we weren't near it. I mean, we were in the same room, but
yeah, that was one of the best pieces that we.
Yeah, and I remember being surprised because he doesn't play them back, and I just sat on the couch and I'm like, really, you're gonna play it back now?
Yeah, something
okay.
just like told me. And I've only done that like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Right.
The other time I did it, we were helping out a couple in the Stanley Hotel that were kind of like freaked out.
Right.
And we had our investigation shirts on, and you know, we said, well, we'll come to your room and do a quick session, see if there's anything here. And I played it back, and of course we caught something and freaked the girl out a little bit more. But I said, you know, it's nothing that's really you need to worry about.
Yeah,
but,
we talked her down from the ledge. She stayed there that night.
But yeah.
Just wanted to do a quick prayer for Omar Gosh TV. He's a huge supporter of just about everybody on YouTube. He is such a kind-hearted person and such an amazing channel, especially with the paranormal stuff. He is not feeling well, and I want to just ask people to send their love and prayers to Omar Gosh and his family. He's been really, really sick. So I just wanted to add that, but that is absolutely incredible. The EVP thing, like that actually kind of like blew my mind just a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty
Because
interesting.
didn't it make you stop for like the rest of the time, like after you got that EVP?
I didn't listen to EVPs for, like I said, about 3 or 4 months after that. Really, I didn't, because I'm like, was this Lizzie standing back there? Everything that was running through my head.
He's like,
was like,
I have to stay
okay.
here tonight. I don't know.
I have to sleep here tonight.
Or was it the spirit of the real killer?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was quite interesting.
Right. Wow, that is so nuts, and it just happened to be right there by that replica couch, and below I heard underneath the floorboards are still stained with Lizzie Borden's father's blood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
they've proven that with what's it,
forensics.
With forensics, using the the sprays and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, just 1 second here. There is a troll account that I'm going to be knocking out here because he is related to the person that has been affecting my channel, and not only my channel, he is probably related to the person that's been trying to hack into my computer. So I've had my way in reasoning of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So not to offend anybody. So thank you, the sharpshooter, for getting my back on that one. Okay, apologies everybody that I got off topic there for a second. It was just that I'm surprised that that person showed up after I had caught them on a friend's channel trying to do stuff. So somebody was having a birthday party, supposedly, correct? And
the night we stayed there, yeah.
They had like an axe murder birthday cake. That was so cool.
That was so awesome. We didn't know those individuals that were staying there that night. They just happened to have rented one of the other rooms, and they offered to let us have some of their cake with them. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. That actually, the lady whose birthday, what she wanted for her birthday was to spend the night there, and yeah, they got a cake, had an axe and everything, and it was kind of cool because they invited us to be part of their party, and we're like, hey, we're going to be investigating later. If you want to come down and investigate with us, yeah, it was cool. We just met them right when we checked in. So,
yeah, it was awesome.
That is so cool. That is awesome.
Pusha Studios in the house.
Yes.
Oh, Pusa's in the house.
Yes, they are.
Hey, Pusa. They are an amazing channel too. They are such good people. They had, I believe, on your channel, because I was on that live stream, they had some scary ghost stories of their own. So I might have to get them on interview here.
Yeah, last Saturday we interviewed Cassandra. She told her paranormal story. Yeah, Pusha Studios is very good friends of ours. They've helped us out tremendously with our channel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's awesome.
Very good friends.
They've helped me and many others and yourself with the channels, and I wouldn't have been able to grow without their assistance and their help.
Mm-hmm.
They are just, if you haven't checked Pusa Studios, like, please go subscribe to Pusa. They are an amazing channel support group and probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. Other than yourselves, PSPR, Paranormal Pursuit, James the Sharpshooter, like all great people. So please go check each other's channels out. Just do not put in my chat that you're, hey, subscribe to me. Like, that's one thing that I get really unnerved about. So no self-promoting, just be respectful for one each other. And the Sharpshooter, the man, the fam, is on the game here, doing his moderating game. So he is an amazing supporter of everybody on YouTube here, and he's a really good friend. So thank you, James, for everything you do, man. So there was also 2 kids at the Lizzie Borden house that were killed.
Actually, it's next door. at Uncle Lodwick's house. That's where the two children were actually killed, in the cistern well. Apparently by their mother, Eliza Darling Borden. And it was at the time of Lizzie's trial that they looked into it and said, maybe there's some like genetic thing here with these women, you know, killing their family members in this family. And they're like, oh, wait, she was married into the family. My theory is it was actually Uncle Ladwick, because she was killed as well. Eliza was killed at that same time. So 2 of the 3 children and Eliza were killed that day. And the way that her neck was cut, there was question as to whether or not it was a suicide. And so I think that there's a possibility that that was Uncle Ladwick who actually did that, not Eliza, although there was basically the idea of postpartum depression with Eliza. So whether or not
she could have done a murder-suicide, but it more seemed like somebody else was at foul play with her and her children.
Right. So perhaps maybe she did kill her children, and then Uncle Ladwick said, "What did you do?" and took her out. Or maybe potentially she did all 3, you know, the 2 children and her, or maybe Uncle Ladwick did all 3. Don't know.
Jeez, wow, that's crazy. So she was killed the same day as the children. So there was actually 5 deaths that were surrounded in the Borden family.
Well, on that property.
On that particular property, wow. Yes, because there were other Bordens back in their line. It was actually right before they became Bordens, where there was another gentleman who was accused of killing his mother. And this guy's daughter ended up marrying a Borden, and that's how they came into the Borden family. So maybe there is something in their genetic line.
On that property, the well is part of the Borden bed and breakfast. It's on the property,
right?
But that entire area was owned by Uncle Ladwick.
Right, the whole area was Uncle Ladwick's.
But there are additional deaths that took place on that property too, and in the Borden house. Correct. Before the Bordens even owned the house. There was after. 2 they think of.
Yes.
They know one for sure that's documented, but they think it was another child that may have passed away in the house too. So that's a total of 7 on that close, very close vicinity.
All the property lines are real close together.
Jeez, that's absolutely crazy. Let's see.
So Pusha Studios had a question for both of us.
Yes. So the question is, what are your thoughts about cases of murder-suicide incidences? Well, in my perspective, we actually had a murder-suicide in the house behind ours. And I have picked the people up on Spirit Box before. The wife was jealous of the husband who was cheating on her and abusive. So she decided to take the old shotgun and go at it. And then she ended her own life so she wouldn't get caught by the police. And I've actually picked up both of their names, and every time they come in, I get really feels like this portion of my head right here starts really hurting, like I could almost feel the gunshot. And I've actually heard the popping sound of what sounded like a gun on my Spirit Box. That is not normal.
That's not normal?
I guess that's why it's called paranormal.
That's right. That's right. It's
there you go.
It's
there paranormal. You go. As far as me, I mean, I think that there are people who do that, and I'm sure that definitely leaves an imprint. So,
yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I think it's just a fit of rage or something like that causes the the murder portion, and then they come to their senses and realize what they did, and it was just too much for them to handle. I think it's basically what happens. Or it's just somebody gets to that point and it's like, okay, we're done, and I'm taking everyone with me.
Right.
So it's sad. It's a mental issues. So
I just wanted to say thank you for the 41 people who have hit the like button and the
that's
close to
awesome.
30 people that are watching this live stream. If you haven't already, if not for me, but for Panic D, Our Haunted Travels, smash that like button. This is such a good interview so far, and it's only going to get better. This is only the first. We're not even into the first hour of this yet. There's a lot more stuff to cover. Trying to keep up with everybody's questions as a result of what we're talking about. 30 people watching. That is so neat.
Share this out, everybody. Let's get more people in the party here. Share it out. Put it on your Twitter.
Let's tweet this out.
I'll start singing.
Facebook. Do everything you can to get this stream out. I did my hardest to retweet everybody's stuff earlier. So Lizzie Borden was actually taunted by the children's nursery rhymes for almost the rest of her life.
Oh yes, most definitely. Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood, she tried to be nice to them, make them cookies and everything, but yeah, they would go and stand outside her house and jump rope to that nice little ditty, you know.
Did you catch the nursery rhyme in one of our videos? I think I put it in a couple. You know, that was actually her singing.
No.
Yeah, I recorded her singing and then I ran it through some.
Yeah, he
tweaks in the audio, make it sound.
He touched me up a bit.
Yeah, make it sound like a little kid singing. Yeah, I didn't go outside and get the kids and say, "Sing this."
That was so, like, it was borderline creepy, like the Ring Around the Rosie song. Like, it kind of gave me chills a little bit.
But that's a good idea. We'll have to do a video on that sometime.
Oh yeah, that backstory is way worse than Lizzie Borden. Like,
I gotta write that down.
Rosie is messed up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember that one when I was in my 10th grade English class. I had a teacher and she told us about that. I'm like, what? The bubonic plague? Are you kidding me right now? That's terrible. And yet we you know, teach that one to our little kids.
Look for that video coming out in October.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's a good one. I mention it to my kids at school now. I'm a teacher as well. And they're always like, really? Yeah. That's what that means?
The G team just sent this out on her Facebook page. That is
cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. That is so neat. She has like somewhere in the ballpark of like 200 and something thousand subscribers. Like, she has an amazing fan base, and they are just such good people. I tried to be in her live streams as much as possible. She probably doesn't notice me unless I send a super chat or something, but it is always great to watch her EVP sessions in haunted locations. It is just absolutely incredible. So it was actually a hatchet, not an axe.
Right.
So if you could elaborate a little bit more on that.
Well, a hatchet's just a little bit smaller than an axe. It's a little bit more easily wieldable. Most people had them in their homes at that time period. Or several, and they were no different. The Bordens had several of them as well. Mm-hmm. They're not 100% sure that they have the correct head of the hatchet. They do have one at the Fall River Historical Society that was used for the trial that they said, you know, we think this is the one. However, you know, just during the trial, one of the neighbors to the backyard of the Borden residence at 92 2nd Street, they actually accidentally found a hatchet. Just happened to be in their gutter roof area of their home. Some kids found it while they were playing ball, and they're like, oh, this might be important. And they called the police department, and they said, oh, well, you could bring it down here if you want. And they're like, no, if you guys want it, you can come get it.
Wow.
And turns out that they had some repair work done to their home, and one of the workers said, "Oh, that's mine," and came and collected it, took it. It never ever was even taken to the police station. It was never introduced as potential evidence, was never checked for blood or anything. And that one just happened to be literally in the backyard of where this murder with a hatchet happened to happen.
Wow.
So that one could have been the actual murder weapon, but we will never know because it disappeared from history.
That's absolutely incredible. I can't. That's amazing. So it was the two main people murdered in the house were Andrew Borden, who was the father, and the stepmother, whose name was
Abby.
Abby. Okay. So it was not her real mother. It was her stepmother.
Correct. Her real mother was Sarah, and she died, I believe, when Lizzie was 2.
Okay. So she died when they were very, very little. She was
She's a Lizzie Borden expert. I'm just going to sit here and drink my water.
Wow, there are 35 people viewing this right now. Thank you so much, everybody. Budget Bushcraft, Panther Paranormal, if anybody doesn't know who that is. Wow, the G team just tweeted out my stream. Holy smokes. I'm not even I'm gonna try to refrain from using any bad words on this channel, but I just censored myself. So I'm doing pretty good. Let's see here. Pusa Studios tweeted it out. Thank you so much. I mean, I can't thank everybody here enough. So she was acquitted of all of these 2 heinous murders. I mean, and heinous is almost an understatement for the amount of brutality that somebody had did to these 2 people inside that home in 1892. What are your thoughts on the case, and what do you think she might have been guilty?
I think she could definitely have done it. The only thing that actually bothers me is that she didn't have blood all in her hair. Her hair wasn't wet like she washed it. You know, if she was going to be doing all those she should have had cast off blood. Now I can totally agree with the cast off blood being removed because of washing and cleaning and things like that. No problem with that. The problem that I have is with her hair, because her hair wasn't reported as being wet at the time of, when they were questioning her or anything. Nobody said, "Oh, your hair's all wet. What, you just wash your hair?" They didn't see any blood in her hair. That part bothers me. Other than that, could she have wielded that hatchet? Sure, she could. I am Lizzie's size, and I know I could have done it.
No, she would have had the strength to hit her mother 19 times and still...
Stepmother!
Huh?
Stepmother!
Okay. Stepmother, sorry. Yes.
Lizzie would not be proud.
Do you think she would have had the strength to hit her stepmother 19 times, go downstairs and hit her father another 11 times?
I do, because it was like an hour apart.
No. He's shaking his head no.
He doesn't think so. He thinks somebody else did it. I think that she could definitely have done it.
Been a partnership between Emma and Lindsay?
He thinks that it was Uncle Morris. Uncle John.
Okay.
Because Uncle Morris was a butcher.
Same person who murdered the children and is.
That was a couple generations apart.
Yeah. That was generations apart.
Yeah. But I personally think she had the strength to do it. I know that I could do it.
All right. So I'll tell you my theory. Okay. She doesn't agree with me. But I think Lizzie tried to do it. That's why she was trying to buy the prussic acid. And she couldn't pull it off because the entire family, with the exception of her, was sick for a couple weeks leading up to the murders. Now, the night before the murders, Uncle Morris just shows up out of the blue. Like, he just shows up unexpected. That didn't happen back then. Like, they would have known he was coming, that kind of thing. So he shows up out of the blue, and there was some sort of dealings going on between Uncle Morris and Andrew over some property. I think Lizzie said, "Hey, Uncle Morris, you take care of this, and I'll make sure you get taken care of."
Right.
And he was a butcher. So it wouldn't have bothered him at all.
It could have been a mixture it could have been a mixture of whiskey and menopause.
Yeah, or it could have been that too.
Pretty
Sad part is we'll never probably ever know the truth.
No,
Right.
we won't.
Yeah.
Cardiac Tap Fam and Sandra, two-dimensional paranormal investigator. Hello and welcome. And same with Guadalupe. Joyce Stewart, don't know about the menopause part, but whiskey on the other hand can. Yeah, whiskey, alcohol can definitely fuel your hatred in a very negative light. That is definitely true. Whether that had anything to do with the murders, we might never know. But it sounded like this was
It was early in the
like
morning.
A passion killing.
And it was early in the morning. We're not going to drink that much whiskey at that time of the day.
This definitely sounds like something more of a passion killing because she had to take a lot of it was almost like a love-hate crime. Like she knew her parents personally, obviously, and she knew where they were going to be at, and she had to have had a lot of passion to be able to do what she did, or the person who actually did this crime.
Yeah. And there was something with the timing too of the date of the murders, because first of all, almost the entire police department was off duty at a picnic.
Yeah, it was their annual police picnic that day.
It was an annual police picnic. So it took them a while actually to get to the house, which could have gave somebody time to cover things up.
Which probably meant that somebody knew about the police picnic or had insights, or maybe was even part of the police department.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary.
And a lot of the evidence was, and back then this was early. This was one of the original forensic cases, like they had photography and stuff like that. But a lot of the evidence was really botched, and that's probably why she got acquitted, is because a lot of the stuff was either thrown out or wasn't admissible in court.
That and the fact that, of course, she was a woman, and it's the 1800s, and all those men, they all said, "Oh, a woman could never do such a thing."
Oh, yes, they can. I mean, look at what Jodi Arias did to that guy. I mean, just point an example. There's some
absolutely
evil women out there.
I'm a woman, and I totally believe that.
You also have to look at Dr. Bowen too.
Yeah, Dr. Bowen, I think, had a lot more of a play in there than anyone ever gave him credit.
After the crime took place, the whole time until she was basically released and acquitted, Dr. Bowen kept her drugged. She was drugged the whole time. So like every time she got up there to testify, her story would change. She don't remember what happened, or it was just whatever. That's because he was giving her morphine, and he claimed that he was doing it to keep her calm, but she was just like out of it. Even while she was in jail, he kept giving her morphine and keeping her drugged.
Plus, he was in and out of the house that day several times. Yeah. He was found burning something while the police were there in the Borden's kitchen. He did some things that were a little bit odd that day.
Follow the money. Who benefited from all the money? That's probably everybody who was involved.
Right. Wow. People, if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and smash that like button if you are just joining us.
What are we up to? 45. We could get them way over 50. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Come on, I hit with Ghost Mafia. I hit well over 100. I think we can do it on this video too. All right, there we go.
Happy trails.
Happy trails. I saw your video. I was watching some of it before this. I'll have to finish watching it afterwards.
Oh, look at this. Tresha Gregory is a new supporter from Patty from the G team. Wow. Well, thank you so much and welcome, Tresha. Awesome. Definitely welcome. Wow. Okay, so we're now at almost 50. We're one away from 50 likes already. That went up pretty quick. Wonder Pup Adventures, welcome to the channel. And if anybody doesn't know who that is, it's Paul Walker. That was one of his previous channels, which is I'm not related to the tragic story behind what happened to the real Paul Walker. So according to one of what Boris was reading, one of the stories on your channel, he was talking about people's paranormal experiences, and he said a shadow of a man had been seen, also a shadow of a woman appearing in the mirror and reported to have a musky smell. Is there any more to those stories, or what did you want to add to that?
Well, the shadow of the man was reported in the hallway outside of the Borden's bedroom. Now that hallway, the way the house is laid out, is the hallway that Andrew would have used daily, multiple times during the day, because they would go up into their suite, so to speak, through the kitchen, through the back hallway. So that shadow that they saw was basically coming towards them out of the Borden bedroom. Okay.
That's Mr. and Mrs. Borden.
Mr. and Mrs. Borden. Yeah. Now the story about the musty smell and seeing a woman, and that's the one with the padded shoulders and stuff like that. Okay. The location of that bathroom where that's being reported used to be Lizzie Borden's dressing room.
Her closet with all her dresses.
With all of her dresses, where she would have got dressed. Now they've converted it and made a bathroom for that front part
of the house,
rooms up there on the second floor. So that gentleman that was in there and witnessed that, it could have, that's what I'm saying, like a lot of this stuff could be residual. That could have been the residual of Lizzie, maybe. Wow. It's possible.
So that could, well, it's kind of weird because usually when you get kind of a musty or damp or foul smelling foul odor when in dealing with a paranormal thing, that's usually not a good thing. So if it is Lizzie, maybe she was the one who was guilty of this the entire time.
And like I said, Lizzie very well could have done it.
So she could have maybe have been under the influence of something spiritual herself during that time. I mean, there's so many different variables, and Massachusetts is full of demonic and crazy stuff that has happened in that state.
Well, I'll throw another one in there too to think about and consider. Back during that time period, the late 1800s, early 1900s, was the time of spiritualism too. It's even reported that in Maplecroft, Lizzie Borden had a room that was a seance room. So did she practice these sort of things? You know, she was very well read,
very well read,
very intellectual. You know, maybe that she was dabbling in that kind of stuff. Who knows? You know, it's possible.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy, but it is very possible. Now, there has been thousands and thousands of claims and stories over the years at the Lizzie Borden house. It is one of America's most haunted homes, without a doubt. Like it's weird if it's you can usually debunk it if there's only been like a few stories, like, you know, that saying, like, if it was you, if it was just one person, you can probably debunk it, but if it's multiple people, it's probably true. Like, but thousands, there's something definitely going on.
I think I would categorize the Lizzie Borden house as the most famous haunted house. I mean, you have the Winchester house too, you know, but
yeah, that's only 3 hours away from where I live.
Yeah, but the Lizzie Borden house, they welcome paranormal investigators to come in. They welcome guests. Guests go there because of that activity. And I think since it's the most famous, since the case was so sensational and it was big national news, that's why there are so many claims there, is because they embrace it. Number one, a lot of places we go to, a lot of them, they don't even want to talk to you about paranormal, but you know, they embrace it. So a lot of people have had experiences there. So I think it's the most famous haunted building, you know.
We are just about to hit 40 people watching this video right now. Sheesh. Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Anybody who's new, if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button. Help support the channel. If you're not doing it for me, please do it for Panic D, Our Haunted Travels. This is an amazing interview so far. We already have completed the first hour, and we got got until, I guess, 2 p.m. my time to do this. Usually run these streams about 3 hours. So anybody who's new and haven't watched my streams before,
we may have to duck out a little bit sooner because we go live at 5, and I got a couple of things to do to get ready for our show. But
absolutely,
you can keep on going, and people will be welcome to come on over for our show at 5 right after.
Absolutely.
That'd be
cool. And right after I end this, make sure you go hit that notification button for Panic D, Our Haunted Travels. And soon enough, I will be on their channel doing an interview just like this of my own. So definitely keep that. I'll let everybody know when I do have that time to go on to Panic D's channel and go live with them.
So I just wanted to say too, I think we're over the 1 hour mark. So now it's time to share it out again.
Yeah, share it out, everybody. We are getting a good amount of people coming in that I have never seen before. Robert, welcome. Margot is from Patty and the G team. Yes, James the Fam and Lou Rock have both done amazing videos at the Lizzie Borden house as well. I have watched those. Wendy, welcome to the channel. I think that, and Karen Summers, hello, my friend. It is so good to see you. If you haven't already, 43 people watching. Please smash that like button. Show some support for Panic D, Our Haunted Travels, and this epic interview. I just love doing these Saturday streams. These are my favorite thing. I look forward to every Saturday to do this stream before I go to work because it takes me out of my mindset of how working at the place that I work at kind of drives me crazy because I sense spiritual things. I can't talk about it to my boss because like I feel like she's ready to fire me if I mention one more thing paranormal to her. Like all my guests come up to me and they're like, "This building's haunted, right?" And I was like, "No." but I have
wink, wink. No.
Yeah.
Tweet me her number. I'll make a call.
7 days. Yeah, she's a hoot, and she's from Germany. I'm like, aren't the Germans like super superstitious? Like, she knows deep down this place is messed up, but she's not gonna say it. She'll take it to her grave knowing that this place is haunted, and she won't say anything. Like, and she figured out one time that we were trying to communicate with the spirit there, and she goes, "Well, I'm not afraid of you. I am the boss here now." And like all of a sudden, the electricity just surged throughout the entire hotel. Like she pissed that spirit off so bad. We were all looking at each other like, "Oh no, what did she just do?" Like the whole room.
That's when you just go, "I'm not afraid of you either, but I'm much nicer to talk to. So like, feel free."
I'm like, if there's anyone you want to talk to me, you can go ahead. Make sure he's not here.
Because I'm watching the little box and I'm centering us.
Here, I'll move over, but you keep getting close to me.
Wow. He's like, "Don't come close to me."
It's warm in here.
Hire me and I'll make it haunted for them. That's funny. Seriously. All I need to do is probably call up, what's that guy's channel, Paranormal Dolls, and have him send me one of the dolls and put it in my boss's room or something. No, that'd be really, really messed up. So to my followers, they have actually made the bread and breakfast, the Lizzie Borden house, basically a direct replica of what it used to be like when Lizzie Borden lived there. And what was it,
1892? 1892 were the murders.
Okay. How long did she live in the house prior to the murders? Her whole life?
No, not the whole life, but for I think maybe 20 years before that, something to that effect.
Okay, gotcha. And her dad, was it her dad that was the one who built the house?
No, he
was
did not build a house, but he was an
carpenter.
apprentice of the person who did.
There was something with Andrew Borden that he loved that house. And
Yeah.
I think what it was when he was learning his trade, before he became a real estate tycoon and everything else to make his money, his trade was he was a carpenter. And carpenters back in the time actually, and there's a lot of people that says that he was a funeral director and all that other stuff. But basically what he did was he made coffins. Okay. And so when he was like apprenticing, he worked on building that house. And there's something like from his childhood or something that he really was drawn to that building, that once he made his money, he was set that he was going to buy that building and live there. I don't know if it's like the time he spent maybe on that property with his Uncle Ladrick or something like that. But in the back of the house too, he owned he had a pear grove, of trees and stuff like that. So that property he was really like attached to, which kind of explains maybe some of the paranormal activity there. Because a lot of people said, and this was interesting too, back in the time when he goes to buy the house was only worth $2,000 and he paid $10,000 for it. You know what I mean? Because he really wanted that house.
Almost $8,000 in the 1880s or something.
Yeah.
Had been. That's probably what, on the ballpark of $100-something thousand or more now in these days.
Yeah, and then he spent a lot of money renovating it too.
Right, turning it into a one-family home.
Yeah, but still, it didn't have, it had, it didn't even have gas lights. They carried lamps, and it didn't have they had a well pump in the kitchen, like a privy type thing, but they didn't have running water throughout the house, stuff like that. Other amenities that the people up on what they called the hill, they had in their homes, and he could afford it, basically.
Absolutely.
So
wow, that's amazing. I can't believe he paid $10,000 when the house was at the time.
Yeah, he wanted it
or $2,500, something like that.
He wanted to make sure that house was his.
Yeah,
he had like I guess an infatuation with the house.
Yeah.
Something really drew him to that property for some reason. Maybe it's because he just loved the architecture, because it is actually a very beautiful house. Oh yeah, the Ouija board. That one, that's crazy. The poor SOB that decided to steal that thing. I mean, there's like certain things you don't do. Don't take things from a haunted house, especially a Ouija board. Like, geez, that is like, I mean, I can't even begin to think, like, what were you thinking, dude?
Right. So on top of your being a thief in the first place, you're going to steal from a haunted place, and you're going to take a Ouija board.
Out of all the items to have taken, he could have taken.
He could have taken Lizzie's book, one of her books that she signed, right?
Right. And instead, he grabbed the cursed Ouija board.
Right.
And I'm going to let you tell them what happened what happened to him and the result of that issue.
Well, basically, they never really told us what happened to him. They told us the outcome of it was basically it arrived back in the mail, because they noticed the house, the people giving the tours, they noticed the Ouija board.
Right. They knew that somebody took it.
So it came back in the mail like 3 or 4 weeks later with a note said, please make it stop.
Oh, see, I don't play with Ouija boards in just my thing. I think it's even more of a gateway than a spirit box, in my opinion. Just because now it is so commonly associated with conjuring up demonic and evil spirits, I just do not want to touch them. I have a hard time dealing with the spirit box enough not to have negative spirits stay in my home. And unfortunately, now I have 2 of them that are in my home, and I've had a really hard time getting rid of them. On top of this lady who's already died in my house, and it's actually, I don't know if you can see, but it's on the other side of this wall is where a woman had died of a heart attack, and she haunts my house. And I've actually caught her on live stream late at night before. It's slightly alarming. Because she had, it felt like somebody, well, first I got scratched. That was the first time I noticed like something was weird, because like I didn't do anything in my house to get scratched. And then I turned on my Ouija, or not, I turned on my spirit box, and it said, I touched you. And I was like, okay, that had to have been a coincidence. That could not have been a coincidence that I got scratched and it said, I touched you. And then I was doing a live stream late at night, and it felt like somebody had run their cold hands along the side of my face and up through my scalp. And I found out it was the spirit of the lady who died in this house. Her name is Janet. She died of a heart attack, and she actually doesn't know she's dead. Yeah, so I don't touch Ouija boards because I already have issues with spirit boxes.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Of all the stuff that we have, we don't own a Ouija board.
Nope, I won't. It's actually against my paranormal group's like joining thing. You can't use a Ouija board or anything like. You can't use a Ouija board or own one because we don't want that bad juju in our group. Let's see. So. Fun fact, there's actually been authors who have written books from the communications that they have gotten from the Ouija boards, including a famous person, Sylvia Plath.
Yes, the famous Sylvia Plath.
Or somebody else, too.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of it.
That's crazy. Like, I wonder what they conjured up in order to get those stories together. That's almost like selling yourself to the devil, it sounds like, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and it could have been a good spirit, and they just had a great conversation. But the fact that they became famous through the spirit communication almost kind of inkles me to think that maybe that they had sold their soul to the devils to become famous, and that was who was communicating with them. My opinion. Please comment below if you don't like it. You can always think of what you think it is. What's your take on it?
I just wonder if poor Sylvia, that's the reason that she put her head in the oven. That's how she died.
Sorry.
Yep,
right? Maybe it wasn't all her idea.
Yeah, maybe something drove her to it.
Yeah.
That story must have been a real gas. No, I'm just
that's even worse.
You guys had some bad jokes in your video, so I think I'm going to add one on this one.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah, that was bad. And we continue.
Well, you just lost 4 subscribers.
Yeah, it's like the.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Ouija board is in the living room of where the museum area is, I believe.
It wasn't too far from where I recorded that EVP
That's
we
correct.
were talking about earlier.
That's right.
Hellkitten said, "Oh crap, Sean is corrupted, John. Oh no." No, I came up with that all by myself.
But yeah, it is in the parlor where Mr. Borden was murdered.
Gotcha. So that's because that's like one of the most common areas where spiritual stuff happens.
It's also one of the what you would consider a common area as well, because they have the front sitting room, they have that parlor, they have the kitchen and the dining room, and those are really the common rooms. And then you have all the bedrooms for all the other floors. So that's also one of the reasons.
So we just hit 60 likes in the first hour. Well, a little after the first hour. If we could get another, I would like to see if we could get at least 80 likes by the end of the time that I have with PANICd, Sean and Sean and Marion. I'd love to see if we could get 80 likes for my guests here. This has been an amazing topic, and I'm probably going to get you back on because you did Gettysburg as well. I do want to talk about Gettysburg at one point, and then maybe a little bit on what was the story with Hershey, Pennsylvania.
There's lots of stories in Hershey. Basically, Mr. Hershey is actually seen in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in several locations, including his the
theater.
What was I thinking? The park.
The
park, which you know, most people go in the park, but yeah, he created that park for all of his
he's not
employees.
seen in the park. They sense the smell of his cigar in the park.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Huh. So that's definitely something that I'm gonna have to definitely keep up on your videos. So when did you go to Hershey?
2015.
It was a big year for us.
Big year.
Sounds like
2015. We went to Gettysburg.
We've
been
to
to Gettysburg
Philadelphia,
3 times.
Washington, and we also went to
that trip we went to Gettysburg,
again.
Hershey, Philadelphia, and DC on that trip.
And we also did, you know, that same year we went to Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, that November we went to Lizzie Borden. We get 2 times during the year where we get a chance where we can actually travel to places. Normally in the summer, since we both work for the school district.
Oh, got you.
Marianne's a teacher, and then I'm off the month of July. So that's normally when we take our vacation. We try to go someplace like farther. And then in November, or late October, early November, Marianne attends a national biology teacher conference, and she has ever since she taught, right?
Yes.
And they have that conference all over the country. So we've been to Atlanta and Memphis and Anaheim and Providence and Minnesota, all over the place. So we look St. Louis. So we look for locations, since we've done the paranormal stuff. We look for locations that's close by during that conference. And the day before we fly out, we try to go to those places, either stay there or just go visit, and then we fly out the next day. So we've been to the Stanley, we've been to the Queen Mary, we've been to the...
You've been to the Stanley. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Like I saw Omar's video there, and I was...
Actually, Omar stayed in the same room that we did on the Queen Mary.
Really? Oh, the B340.
No. He stayed.
The one before that.
He stayed.
That
wasn't the B1, but it was like a suite. That's the room that we stayed in, because
we watched the video. Like, that's the room we stayed in.
All of the rooms at the Queen Mary, because the Queen Mary is also only like 3 hours from me. It's in Long Beach, California. I'm 4 hours from San Francisco, 4 hours from Los Angeles in either direction. So the Queen Mary is haunted.
Is that 4 hours by like normal time or 4 hours with LA traffic time?
Okay, so yeah, good point. So where the most problematic areas is when you get from if you're driving from San Luis Obispo to Los Angeles, when you're driving on Highway 101 and you cross in, well, the first problematic spot is Ventura, which is, I have no idea why. There's nobody that lives there, but every time I drive down there, it's like rush hour traffic, and I can't explain why. And it's like gridlocked. I think it's just because people can't drive most of the time down there. And it's also a narrow part of the highway. But and then when you get from the 101 onto the 405 in Los Angeles, you better just pray that you hadn't rolled in there like near 5 o'clock, because you're not going to get out of there, and it could take you hours to get out of that. I've had that happen. The best day I actually drove through Los Angeles was the day Michael Jackson passed away, and that's because everybody was at his funeral. And so there was nobody on Highway 405. And we went all the way down to San Diego that day. It took us only like 5 hours from Los Angeles. It was great, because that's usually like a 9-hour trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. My cousin lived in, they still live in Newport Beach. But she worked up in L.A.
Gotcha.
So
I grew up like 15 minutes from Newport Beach.
So she'd have to leave like 3-4 o'clock in the morning to make it to work, and then get home those like 7-8 o'clock at night. You know, that's insane to me. You know, there's no way. I couldn't handle that traffic. We run in a car or took a taxi when we were out there. I wasn't driving in that. No.
What is this Mustard Man issue? dear Jamie, please. Oh yeah, so that was totally justified, Jamie. So, uh, so there's also this place called the Oak Grove Cemetery, and it is has a high connection to the Borden family and includes the graves of Abby, Andrew, Sarah, and Lizzie, I believe,
and Emma and
Emma.
their sister Alice. Yeah, there's
Basically
a lot of
all
Bordens.
the people surrounding the case, almost all of them, with the exception of Bridget and Uncle Morris, but even like the attorneys and all those people and the head detectives and all that, they're all buried in that cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeez. And according to your video, strange lights, sounds, and screams have been heard coming from the graves.
Mm-hmm.
Did you experience anything paranormal? Any sounds or lights that were not normal?
We experienced
No,
30-degree weather with wind blowing when we were there.
It was cold and it was windy.
This was November in Massachusetts. It was freezing cold.
Yeah,
the only thing that kept us out of the car and around the graves was
Lizzie Borden's grave, you know.
Yeah.
But it was, we didn't really experience anything while we were there ourselves.
I wish we would have had, I didn't take a spirit box or the Ovilus or anything with us. We only had our recorders. I wish I would have had like the spirit box or something. We could have sat in the car because you could pull up right next to the family graves. We actually could have sat in the car and cut the wind, you know, that type of thing. Because she did record there, but you can't make it out from the wind and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, but the GT Patty from the G team, me too, my friend. I actually just had to deal with somebody hacking into my YouTube and Google Plus account. So I have gotten a lot smarter and a lot less trusting of people who I'm going to be giving blue wrenches. I have to know you very well and speak with you. That's going to be my new thing. I have to get to know you and speak with you because I thought I had some people that I trusted a lot that I had given a wrench, and they were the ones who were hacking my account. So I am very cautious now of who is in my chat, and I am watching carefully, and there's some trolling going on, and I've been able to take down about, I want to say in between my account and my friends' accounts, about 15 of these bot accounts, which is pretty good odds. But they're all related to the same two people that were causing the trouble.
I don't get it.
I don't either. I will never understand it.
I don't know. What's the point? Just to be frustrating.
It's like teenage drama.
That's one thing on our channel. I've had people asked to become mods and stuff like that, and we're kind of leery because, you know, we work for a school, and, you know, Mary Ann's not the most popular teacher.
Because I'm the hard teacher.
I'm not the most popular worker there because I'm the head tech guy, so I'm the ones that kicks the kids off the internet and bans them from stuff like that. So we got to kind of watch. We got to make sure we know people too on our channel.
You're the internet cop.
I'm the internet cop. Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome the other day.
So
he was
basically the school's moderator.
Yes.
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 Yeah, the kids were freaking out the other day.
You think YouTube's bad? You ought to, you know, try to watch like 500 kids on a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see how we're gonna screw with Mr. Donnelly and get on Facebook.
Yeah, but it totally freaked him out. The other day he took over for their computer.
Elementary and middle school, they had our internet restricted to certain things. It was like, I call it socialism, but that's just my opinion. But I understand to an extent why they had done it.
Well, it's actually federal law. It's actually federal law. We get federal funding. It's called E-rate. And in order to do that, we have to comply to the CIPA law, which is Child Information Protection Act. And as a provider of internet to children, we have to filter it so they can't get to certain places. So if they would go and report, like, hey, they go home and they tell mom and dad, hey, I saw this at school, and they report that, we could lose, I think it's like close to 70-some thousand a year in federal funding. But
and we're
see,
a
a lot
small
of
school
people,
district,
yeah,
so that's
we're
a
a
lot
tiny school district, but
for
a lot of
us.
people don't see that. They're just like, yeah, I'm just the internet cop. Yeah.
I actually had no idea that was actually a federal law, but we used to see, we got smart. We used to bypass it through an internet proxy, but I mean,
Yeah.
now they
Yeah,
have,
he hates people like you. No,
No, I don't hate. That's just a big portion of my job.
yeah.
exactly. He
I was a
hates
little bit
that.
of a troublemaker in school, but hey, I graduated from high school with a 3.9 GPA, so I was not a bad student. I was just a little mischievous, but I have since moved away from that part of my life. Let's put it that way.
You've learned to use your powers for good instead of evil.
Yes, like Spider-Man always says, with good response, or what is it? With good response, I totally messed it up now. With great
I know what
power
you mean
comes
now.
great responsibility. That's it, right there.
There you go.
Yep. Sorry if that probably deserved me that thumbs down that somebody just gave me. I upset Spider-Man. But yes, with great power comes great with responsibility, and people, you know, I mean, I'm nowhere near a bad person. I like to mess around in school. Like, I like to give the teachers a hard time. I gave them a run for their money, and but I always was a good student, and that's probably why I got away with what I got away with. So I'm getting down to the last part of what I had for my notes here. So explain to me about this fake news surrounding around Lizzie Borden. There was a lot of fake news from a major newspaper. Could you tell my followers who that major newspaper was and what they were saying?
That was the Globe.
Boston Globe.
The Boston Globe, yeah.
Wow.
And basically,
Actually,
they would say pretty much anything they wanted. They definitely didn't like Lizzie.
Wow.
And
that's actually the book we got.
they would promote that she had some marriage proposals, that she was engaged to certain people that she wasn't. One of which was her one of the guys that was on her jury, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna marry him. No. They said that she was pregnant. All kinds
One of the jurors, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's pushing it a little far. Like,
the Borden sisters paid a fantastic sum of money to Bridget Sullivan for her silence.
wow.
I mean, this was actually stuff that was printed in that newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And this was during the trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were just putting all this stuff out, and basically they were doing it to sell newspapers. I'm telling you, this was a big news in the United States, and they would just kept it going, and then it finally ended up with the stories were soon retracted. You know, of course, they probably put it way in the back, buried it in the paper. The stories were soon retracted as complete fabrications, and their author shortly died under questionable circumstances.
So that leads me to think that somebody in the Lizzie Borden family might have taken him out.
Who knows? Maybe.
That's an
We're
option.
talking a lot of money, folks.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking, he was worth $310,000 back in 1892.
He was a multi-millionaire. He was probably one of the richest people in the country. Well, I wouldn't say maybe, but he was very well-to-do.
He was well-to-do. He wasn't as well-to-do as some of the other Bordens that actually lived in the area.
Oh, no.
There were actually others who were in his family that had a much bigger fortune than he did. But he decided he was going to keep his money. He wasn't going to lose it all. He wasn't going to spend it unwisely or anything like that. He was very frugal.
His parents weren't very wealthy at all, and he made all the money himself. But I calculate, I think 300,000 is close to 17 million in today's money.
Wow.
But this is the thing that's interesting too. Lizzie lived how many years? Like 30
She lived
years?
till 1927 or 29.
27, 18.
I want to say 29.
So,
maybe.
but when she passed away, she was worth $380,000, and that's splitting it in half with her
Emma.
sister,
Right?
And being how she spent money, she just spent money like crazy. So they actually inherited not only the cash, but like all of his businesses and stocks and things like that. So she was very well taken care of.
So what business was Andrew Borden in? What did he do again?
Mostly he owned properties, like rental units for businesses and things like that. He sat on the boards of what, 4 different banks?
It was either 4 or 5 banks, yes.
Yeah. So he got, you know, a salary for that too, being on those boards. But mostly it was like in the later years, as he was older and stuff, it was rental properties he for businesses and residential. So he took his money and just kept putting it back into investments and stuff like that. He had a partner, and the partner died before him, right?
Right.
Yeah. That they went together and they started this real estate firm, so to speak. So that's what most of his income or his wealth came from, was that rental property. He owned the buildings.
Right.
You know? He
had a furniture business before he got into all the rental things and everything, because again, that was his trade.
Yeah.
So that's where he started his monies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't actually know that, because I didn't put that in my notes, but that is really awesome information.
This is why we spent 4 weeks. We did 4 weeks on Lizzie Borden, because all this stuff. I know we have a tendency, like when we try to feature a location each week, but we have a tendency like to keep digging and digging and digging and digging.
Just like the Boston Globe did to Lizzie.
Yeah. We just get so much stuff, and it's like we could make hours of videos, you know, putting it out there. So.
Well, you did a phenomenal job on the Lizzie Borden series. Like, I was absolutely like mind blown by how detailed all the back history behind it, because that's something I like to do. I like to go into the back history of all the locations I visit. I do a lot of the research. I meticulously go into every detail before I go into location. I try to communicate. I try to do like the spirit community. I do most of the spirit communication in our group. That's kind of like my deal within our group. I deal a lot with the. I always carry a holy water, a blessed cross with me. Like, I always make sure I have all these things that I'm prepared. I always do Bible verses and stuff like that to just ensure that I have a little protection from the man upstairs, because that's really important while you're doing any kind of spirit communication or paranormal work. And not everybody agrees with that, and that's fine by me. If I start talking about God and get a thumbs down, that's okay. But 69 likes right now. If I could get one more person to smash that like button, actually, I'd like to get up to 80 by the end of this here.
I think we got to go over 100. What's your?
I want my goal over 100. If I could get 100 with Ghost Mafia, I can definitely exceed 100 with you guys. So definitely.
So
let's smash.
I know you're talking about Lizzie's stuff, but along in a conversation of doing the research and stuff for the location, can I just talk about PANICd.com a second?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because our channel name is really weird. Okay. So PANICd.com is actually an online database. And that's how we got started, was, you know, when the TV shows came out and stuff like that. And I'm actually, even though I work for the school, I own a business. We do web development and social media and stuff for small businesses. So I was looking at people's websites and I'm like, oh, you know, I wanted to create a database that basically was like Google meets the paranormal. So it puts these locations in there and then attach like any of the articles and videos and things like that for the different locations. Because like if we travel to an area, I could go into PANICd.com and say, give me something within, you know, taxi distance that has locations and stuff. And we put all that in PANICd. So that's what PANICd stands. It's actually Paranormal Activity Network Investigation Center Database is PANICd. So the website is PANICd.com. And since we created our channel in 2010, it was PANICdVideos. So I use YouTube as a video archive. But like I was telling you, back in November 2017, we decided to do Our Haunted Travels. I was on the fence. Do I start a new channel called Our Haunted Travels, or do I take PANICdVideos that's been out there for a while, because we do say, hey, the stuff's in the database. Like all this stuff that she's found and all of her research and stuff like that, we're going to link it off the Lizzie Borden record in the database so everyone can go and see it. Now, if it's other people's links and they're down, I have no control over that, you know, that kind of thing. But that database is a way where you could find haunted locations, and we welcome any paranormal investigator or whatever to give us leads, to add it in there, and we give them credit back to their group. That where we go.
Well, I have a lot in my group's database about locations we've been to here in San Luis Obispo, including the cemetery that's only 4 blocks away from my house. We have had the most incredible paranormal experiences of our investigative start in that cemetery by my house, and it is the reason this whole area right here has a lot of weird experiences and situations that go on. Lots of people here complain that there's paranormal activity here, and I think it's because of that cemetery. I just got a strange comment here. Just a second. I think this might be an issue here. Yeah, see, this is the situation that I have right now. This troll account thing, and I'm not afraid to show people. It just came up on here. HSFL, hey John, forget it now, dude, or I will hack everything you've got. That's what I have to deal with every day. And then I'll click on that video and it'll disappear. That it's not a real comment. It's like a ghost comment. So I don't think he knows that I have a double encrypted password and I have a security lock on my computer with a double firewall. So good luck with hacking my account, and yeah.
Don't get me started on hacking.
I know. But yeah, it's such a waste of resources. Come on.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Find something better to do with your time.
Oh, I know. Instead of intimidating, I mean, I literally don't do anything to anybody here on YouTube. I'm always common and courteous to everybody here. I give everybody the same respect that I give them the same respect I give to everybody, unless you give me reason not to respect you. And I respect everybody right now who's in my chat. So many great people. But this has got to stop. Like, seriously.
Were you on our live stream when we were trying to do the Lizzie Borden trivia night?
I believe so, for a short time, because I usually work when you guys go live. So I tend to try to go on while you're working. So yeah, and you know who sent me this message? HSFL Paranormal sent me that message. So it's actually a bot account of myself. That's how crafty these people are. It's starting to like get on my nerves.
Well, the good news is you got a comment.
Yeah, it actually doesn't show up as a comment. What they do is it won't show up as a comment, but it'll show up as a thumbs down. But I mean, it's still a view. So
yeah, folks, you know, to create a channel, be creative.
Yeah,
spread love.
I like what Melissa said. This person needs a girlfriend and needs some attention. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Budget Bushcraft said they needed to go camping too.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Deep into a haunted
deep
woods.
in the woods.
Yeah,
haunted woods would be good. Yeah,
yes.
We'll take you camping.
So, yeah, exactly. Lizzie Borden will take you.
Right.
Yeah. So this witness that was supposedly bribed, all of a sudden decided to move to Montana and marry somebody with the same last name as her.
Yes, that's their maid, Bridget.
Mm.
Bridget Sullivan actually married a gentleman, and his last name was Sullivan. So when she got married, she was still Bridget Sullivan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
she was the maid at the Borden house during the time of the murders. And she's the one who let Mr. Borden in when he was locked out of his own home that morning that he died. And she was supposedly washing windows when Mrs. Borden died. And then went to take a nap.
And then when she got sick.
Do you think it's at all possible that the maid could have had something to do with this?
I think she knew some things.
Well, if you follow my theory, Uncle John left the house at one point and he had to sneak back in. And I think he snuck in through that back corridor, like I was telling you, that back corridor that went upstairs. I think because it also led into the kitchen. And if that's true, Bridget would have saw him come in or heard him. And actually, Abby was found in the room he was staying in. He was actually staying in that room, and Abby went up to change the sheets for him,
Right.
while Bridget was outside supposedly
washing windows.
Yeah. So if she was outside, she would have had to seen him come back. Or what Lizzie said was somebody broke in. She would have seen somebody come into the house.
Right.
Because the front door was locked.
Do you all have anything else to add about the Lizzie Borden case that I might have missed? Because
I think you did pretty good. You covered a lot.
You covered a lot of different pieces.
Summarized a lot of those.
I tried to catch up this morning. I started out started taking notes right when I got home at 2 a.m. Eastern and did it until 4 until I crashed out on the chair I was taking the notes on. Woke up at 8 in the morning here, so that would have been 11 p.m. roughly, or 11 a.m. Eastern, and continue until I started doing the live stream. So I tried to catch up and be as detailed as possible. But yeah, I hope I covered a lot. And if there is anything I'm missing, please, if you have anything to add about the case.
The only thing I think of is Alice Russell. You didn't mention Alice Russell, Lizzie's friend, who she told the day before that she was fearful that something was going to happen. Someone was going to hurt the family, that father had enemies. And then Alice was there. She stayed at the house with Lizzie the night of the murders after the murder happened.
That's
as
one
a
thing
friend.
we didn't talk about either, was the day of the crime. That night, the bodies were there. Uncle Morris was there. Alice Russell was there. Emma was there. Lizzie was there.
They all slept in the house that night.
Bridget says, I'm not staying here. She was out of there.
Right.
But they all stayed in the house with the bodies. The bodies were there that night, overnight.
Yeah.
In the dining room.
Yeah, they were laid out on the dining room table in the dining room.
Yeah.
But
that's messed up right there.
But they used to have the wakes in the house, so that was not that abnormal. But it would be abnormal to do that in the house where there was a murder that day, I think.
Some could say that Lizzie was dead asleep.
But funny enough, she wasn't. Funny enough, she wasn't dead asleep that night, because she and Alice were seen going down into the basement that same night as well, a couple of times. They at first said that, oh well, they must have been using the privy, but then Lizzie had gone back down there just a short time later by herself as well. But it was actually Alice who saw Lizzie burning her dress that she was requested to provide to the police department. And she's like, I don't think you should be doing that. And she's like, oh, it's okay. It's just an old thing.
That's actually what got her arrested.
That's what got her arrested.
That dress.
Yeah. And so her and Alice never were friends again after she, kind of testified against her for burning that dress. They kind of broke ties. But I think Alice might have known or figured out a little bit too much as well.
Gotcha. That's definitely understandable, and I thank you for adding that. Now, Was there anything in particular about the case itself that was questionable in the eyes of, like, in the direction of Lizzie? Like, was there some things that could have pointed the finger to her? Definitely.
Well, obviously, she was really the only one that was there that day. I mean, Bridget was there.
Addict, right? And ate a bunch of pears. Was that
In
the
the
story?
barn.
In the barn
In the
attic.
barn.
Yeah. So apparently, she was supposedly, besides Bridget, she was the only one who was home at the house at the time of both murders. She claimed she didn't hear anything, didn't see anything or anything like that when Abby was murdered. And supposedly she was right downstairs ironing some handkerchiefs. So she should have heard a big thud hit the floor, because Abby was not a small woman. So when she initially hit the floor, I'm sure it would have had quite a thud. And then when her father was killed, she supposedly was out in the barn looking for lead sinkers for a fishing trip on a week that nobody knew she was going on. And some of the police officers went up into the loft in the attic of the barn where she said she was at, and it was all covered in dust and everything. And they said, there's no footprints, there's no like dragging of your dress or anything up here. Like, nobody's been up here. So that was questionable. Was she really there? Was she upstairs or in the kitchen when her father came home? She changed her story several times for that. Obviously, this hatchet, kind of was in the basement that she would have had access to, or not. There was her cleaning some things off of her dress. There was a one spot of blood, one spot of blood, all that hatcheting, but one spot of blood on her dress that she claimed was menstrual blood. And of course, it's 1800s. The guys today go, oh, menstrual blood, in the 1800s are like, oh, okay, Miss Lizzie, fine, that's good, you're done. And they didn't really check her any further.
Right, because they didn't have the, I guess, the forensics and DNA testing and all that stuff. So she very well could have gotten away with it because she played the "I'm innocent woman."
I'm a girl. Yeah, I'm a girl.
Well, that wasn't
played in her favor back then, because I mean, it was still back then. It was, everybody was pretty into the church, and they didn't believe that a woman could possibly do this. She very well could have.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Historically, back then, it's still most of the time today, if it's a murder conducted by a woman, it's a poisoning.
Right, and that leads to Eli Bentz and his testimonies that were withheld from the actual trial.
Yeah, we didn't actually, with all the videos and everything that we covered, we didn't actually do a video about the trial.
We're going to do that when we go to the courthouse.
We're going to wait until we go back and go to the courthouse. But there was certain things that actually were thrown out of the trial that if that wouldn't have happened, would she have been found guilty? We were going to do that video, but we said, well, let's leave some for like when we go back. And,
right.
That's very, very true. We're at 74 likes. Could we bump this up to 80?
Smash the like button.
Yeah, smash that like button, people. This has been a really awesome interview. You don't get this very often, where you can have people talking about locations like I did with Brian's Paranormal, like I did with Ghost Mafia, and like what I'm doing right now with PANICd, Our Haunted Travels. Like, you don't get these one-on-one interviews with a lot of paranormal groups, and I do this special every Saturday to bring a new location into light, to look up the history, to go over their evidence and compare it to some other people's stuff that they've experienced. And there was some creepy stuff that happened when Omar and Lou Rock went there as well. Like, they had caught stuff on camera of stuff moving and that were not supposed to be moving. And it was it's just absolutely incredible. Like, I've watched other people who have done it. I was doing it before this live stream, and God, this was definitely on my paranormal bucket list. Like, I gotta check this place out. And I gotta
Well,
make my way
I do have to say this. If anyone ever plans on going there to do an investigation, I would love to go back and rent the whole place out so that there's nobody else there.
Right.
Secondly, I would like to go like in the summertime, you know, like even maybe around the anniversary date of the things, but definitely not fall or winter because it's an older home, you know, and you hear the wind howling and, you know, all kinds of contamination that there was so much stuff that we had to, and we have this a lot of places that we go to that we have to throw out because, you know, it's either a public tour that we're on or it's, or, you know, that kind of thing. But I would love to go do a full blown rent the whole place investigation, and I bet you the activity would just be off the chart. You know?
Eric M had a question. She said, "What is this place you're talking about?" That we are actually talking about the Lizzie Borden Bread and Breakfast and I guess museum. But yeah, this place is awesome. And if you haven't heard about Lizzie Borden and what happened there, you need to go research this place. Hey, it looks like Windy City Steve-O. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is an incredible, incredible location. Somewhere where I've heard about for years, even before I started really getting into the paranormal. Definitely something that is a place to check out if you do this kind of work.
Yeah.
When you do go, you know, if somebody wants to look into this and go and do their own research and stuff like that, there's so much stuff out there about Lizzie Borden. I mean, just tons of stuff, books. Even their gift shop sells so many different books, and it's a very, I mean, there's people that just become fanatics about it. What we did on our channel, the approach that we took is we based those videos and that kind of stuff off the trial transcripts. You know, and is it 1971? Which one was it with Elizabeth Montgomery?
Oh, yeah. It's the Lizzie Borden.
The movie with
the movie called
with
Lizzie
Elizabeth
Borden.
Montgomery that's in it. That movie is actually pretty closely based off of the trial transcripts.
Wow.
You know, then there's other ones that came out like the Lizzie Borden Chronicles,
which has almost no truth in it.
It's but what was interesting while we were doing these, we would get comments and be like, "Well, I heard this and I heard that," and they're all very interesting stories and theories. But the approach that we took was based off of the transcripts and what was documented and that kind of stuff. Because, you know, I have this theory out there about history with all the media that we deal with and our children deal with and stuff like that. I mean, books are lost. I mean, libraries are closing and things like that. To go back and here's the true history of what happened, and that's what we're trying to do over on our channels is that kind of stuff. So,
absolutely, wow, that is awesome. So, what is your top? As a paranormal group, what is your top location that you've ever been to? Is Lizzie Borden high on your list, or have you been to somewhere where you recommend going to more?
Our personal love, the place that we go to, is actually Hillview Manor, and we're going there this Saturday.
What's this place called?
Hillview Manor. It's in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. We've been there several times. We know the team that run the place, the manager there. We're actually doing a paranormal conference Saturday there. We're speaking. But we've investigated there. We've actually one time took a bus of 50 people there with us and ran an event. And
hold on, I got a message from what looked like Jamie Paranormal Wonders, and I know I have her as one of my moderators. I'm just trying to double verify, but real quick, I just got a message from her and the wrench was gone, so that kind of making me wonder if this is another troll. So let me
she's back with the wrench.
Okay,
did you put the wrench back on her?
No, that was a troll account.
Yeah.
They're mimicking a lot of my friends and creating clone accounts.
the capitalization on the W is different if you look at that.
Yep. So just please, people, be careful. Make sure you like Google yourself or put yourself in the YouTube search. Somebody's trying to create a lot of different bot accounts to make it look like friends of ours and followers, and they try to stir trouble to make it seem like this is your friends doing it, but it is not them. Just please be careful, people. Yep. So anyway, let's see. 77 people watching right now. Thank you so much. And this is what I've been dealing with a lot lately. And it's really, really sad. So I know who my moderators are, and I know which ones are the bot accounts, because when they mimic my mods, their wrench is gone. I have a lot of things that I can notice as red flags really fast, and not only my chats, but also in my friends. So, and this is just incredible, because now they're showing themselves, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to stir the pot with them a little bit and get them to show themselves. Because this is really, whoever's doing this is taking a lot of hard time and work to try to mess with everybody. So please, people, just be careful. So next year I got invited to go to Trans-Allegheny, and I believe it's in Tennessee near Knoxville. That is something I'm looking forward to. Our whole group is going to be doing that. Are you still with me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
We are here.
Have you ever been
watching chat?
Have you ever been to Trans-Allegheny?
No, and we haven't been to Waverly Hills. We get asked those places all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're really within like 5-6 hours from us, and we haven't been there. I keep telling people we're starting like from the outside and working in. You know, yeah, they're pretty close to us. We're in Youngstown, Ohio. We're northeast tip of Ohio, and actually, PSPR, we're probably about maybe an hour and a half from him. He's in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we haven't been to Trans-Allegheny. We haven't been to Waverly Hills, and we haven't been to the one in Wheeling that I can't remember the name of, the prison there. But they're really close. It's like every time we plan, it's like, okay, well, let's take a trip to go like Western Ohio and down like next to Waverly is Bob Mackey's is down there too. They're real close to each other. But every time we like, okay, this year we're doing it. We're going to go down through Columbus and Dayton and hit those places like that. We end up going the other direction, you know, like, you know, we go back to Gettysburg. That's what we did we spent a week in Gettysburg this year, which was fun. But last year we did up and down Virginia, which was a blast. I mean, we hit so many different places and historical, and you know, did a lot of research and found that almost all of them had paranormal claims. We went to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. It's kind of like where we started. And we were there the same time when that aired on. Oh man, my brain today, and I got to do a show here at 5.
The Travel Channel had
the Travel Channel. You know what I'm talking? The Sharpsville, Ghost of Sharpsville.
No,
they aired an episode about Harper's Ferry the week we were there. So we did a little digging, a little investigating, and that kind of stuff. That was kind of cool. But
that is awesome. So we are at 77 likes. If we are only 3 away from 80 likes, if we could bump that to 80 and 100, let's try to do that.
Come on, trolls. Figure out a way to hit the like button.
Right.
Rate that like button.
Right. Oh, man, that is funny.
So Polynesian Vloggers here, sweetheart. You can say
Polly.
hello. And somebody asked
Hawaii.
if we had ever been to Ohio State Reformatory. So
Yes.
yes, we have, and that's one of the ones that's on that top of that list you were asking about.
Yeah. Mansfield's about 3 hours from us. Yeah,
Gotcha.
we've been there.
So how far are you from Gettysburg?
4.5 hours.
So you
nonstop.
I forget, because like on the East Coast, everything's like relatively more close. Where well, I mean, like comparatively speaking, like I lived in Wilmington, but I could be in Pennsylvania in about, what is it, 9-10 hours maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with driving east actually from where we're at, the problem is going through Pennsylvania and those mountains, or even going south through West Virginia. That's the Appalachian Mountain Range, and it's all like, squirrely. And she actually got sick when we were going to Gettysburg, because a lot of times when we drive and take a driving one, she'll read a book to kind of like make things go quicker.
I'll read it out loud so that we both hear and go through the same book at the same time.
Out of these mountains and
while we drive.
While we're driving, and she's like,
I'm like, I need to take a break for a while. And that was the first time that ever happened to me too. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old.
Yeah.
Windy City Steve-O said you guys should come back for Valentine's Day massacre site here in, I guess, Chicago.
Yeah. It is actually on my list for when we go back to Chicago. That's not this year. Is that next year or the year after? My biology conference, we are going to go back to Chicago again.
I think it's next year.
I think it's next year. And so that the St. Valentine's Day murder is on the list.
It's one of the locations. We want to go there, and we want to go to the cemetery where the Madonna of the Grove is. That's in Chicago too.
That's definitely really, really interesting. That would be an awesome place to check out. One away now from 80 likes. Let's smash that like button. Polynesian Vlogger, hello, my friend. This is actually, I think, the first time I've seen you on my stream, but thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, the G team did have to make a leave there. It was good to have her on here and showing her support. That was amazing. Lynn, I can't say your last name, but hey, Patty from she's friends with Patty, it looks like. So awesome that you're here. If you haven't already, smash that like button, fam. Make sure you, if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content. I try to do at least 4 live streams a week. I'm going to start trying to push out some other content here. I've just been really busy with this weird work schedule that I've been on. So once I get this all figured out, I will be able to make sure I'll definitely be able to make sure that I get to doing some other things.
We're going to have to get you to participate in our Halloween party.
Oh, see, I was actually thinking about doing a Halloween party of my own. So that would actually...
Ours is going to take place over the course of the month of October.
Yeah, see, that's the same thing that I was going to do on my channel as well. Get a bunch of collaborations on YouTube here with all the different paranormal groups, people that have had paranormal experiences, do a haunted Halloween history lesson, and where the origins of All Hallows Eve came from. So I'm definitely going to be working on something like that.
Well, you do that, and we'll come help you with that. And then you come help us with ours, because we're going to do a mystery.
Ooh.
And have a bunch of collaborators take part of it. And it's going to wind up with us going live Halloween night for the reveal.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm almost have that finished. That's one of the things I was working on.
That's one of the projects. He's making
kind of like a hidden type message to send out to collabs to see if they want to participate, and I'm going to start sending that out within the next couple of days. So I'll put you on the list and send it to you so you can see the details of it. So a lot of people in here is going to be getting tweets from me too.
Awesome.
Because that can be beyond the paranormal channels too, So like, I know Poosh is going to take part in that.
Poosh Studios, I definitely want to get on here during the month of October and do maybe like an interview with them, like you did with them, and on my channel, and kind of introduce. I mean, most of my followers know who Poosh Studios is, because I get a lot of my followers from Poosh Studios. because we all help support each other. So but yeah, definitely. It was an amazing experience to talk to you about this whole Lizzie Borden. I was really happy, and I'm going to have to get you on here again. There's so many more investigations I wanted to cover, but I just had this obsession with wanting to get this Lizzie Borden one done first. So I'll definitely have you on probably for a part 2 here to talk more about that. Did you know about Bakersfield Paranormal Services? He actually lives only 2 hours from where I live too. So does Irish Whiskey and Ray the Fam. He said, "Do you know the real story about the Tooth Fairy?" No, I don't, and I didn't know it was a real thing. So that's kind of creepy. Not only do they drop off your teeth, they also steal your dreams.
Is a Tooth Fairy a man, like in the Santa Claus movie? That's really creepy. If he is
movie, like Candyman or something, like one of those B-rated horror movies, like the Tooth Fairy like yanks out your teeth and your brains at night or something crazy. But no, seriously, I would really like to hear more about this whole Tooth Fairy situation. Maybe you could call or contact me on Hangouts again, Bakersfield Paranormal Services, and we could definitely talk about the Tooth Fairy. That would be very, very cool. Have a good day, Windy City. It was awesome to see you. I hope you're having a great rest of your day, Windy. Yeah, so sorry to everybody about that whole issue with who, with the whole duplicate account thing. They're getting really, really ballsy, and they don't really care how they show themselves as long as they make an appearance. I'm sure YouTube will be fast and ready to try to get rid of those type of people. But until then, we just have to put up with it and keep blocking them and doing our best to try to make people aware of that situation. So, did y'all have anything to add, Sean, Marianne?
Oh, just that here in less than an hour. Be 5 o'clock our time. I don't know what time that is your time because I have a hard time.
5 o'clock my time. So
yeah, we're going to be going live. So we're going to have to get going here shortly. I got to reboot everything. We got to take a stretch, and I don't know if we're going to eat before or not, but we're going to go live. If anybody
I'm going to say doubtful.
Doubtful.
This is actually my lunch. It's pasta.
See, there you go.
Sauce.
That's a lot of pasta. That looks like a really big
thing. I think that would cause like some intestinal issues if I ate that whole thing. No, but like some of it for later. This is just enough to get me through the next 8-hour shift at work. So
all right, I wasn't sure if that was just the angle of the camera or what, but it looked like a huge bowl of pasta.
Like this bowl is actually huge. Whole thing of
carbs, carbing it up.
Oh goodness!
I actually have a plate that I'm gonna put this on. So.
Polynesian vlogger goes food, anything with food. Polly's.
Yeah, it's so the UK is GMT, which is actually 8 hours ahead of California and 5 hours ahead of the Eastern Standard Time. So right now, let's say it's 1 o'clock, so it's actually 9 in the UK right now. So it's almost time for somebody's bedtime.
That's a great thing about YouTube. It's like 24/7.
Oh yeah,
you can't sleep. Go hop on a live stream.
There we go.
But it's also a bad thing about YouTube because you can't get work done. It's like, oh yeah, so and so's live. I got to go down there and say hi. And it's like before you know, it's like 4 hours are gone. And I don't have my video edited for the morning. And yeah.
Okay, so the short story is the Tooth Fairy gives money for the kids' teeth. The kids started coming up missing. They blamed the old lady. She was a witch, and she killed her. She was a witch, and she killed her. Now her evil spirit kills people. Is this a true story? Like, that's kind of creepy. So the Tooth Fairy is a evil witch who makes kids go missing and leaves money under their pillow. See, I was so happy when I discovered that it was actually my great grandmother leaving 50 cents. That's all she would ever put. And when we were kids, when we lose our teeth, my great grandmother used to stick 50 cents underneath our pillow. And my grandma made a joke. She goes, doesn't she understand that 50 cents doesn't buy you anything anymore? It was just a joke. So, but it was.
I used to get a quarter.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I think now that Tooth Fairy gives out like $5 and Lego sets.
What?
Yeah, that's the going rate over here now.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's had some major inflation.
I really think I got a couple. There was only a couple of times a Tooth Fairy come with me because I remember when I was a little kid, my teeth wasn't coming out. I had to go to the dentist and have them pulled.
Oh. Yeah, and if you have to have them pulled, the Tooth Fairy doesn't come. Yeah,
I remember being sad from that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Give me them teeth.
But Budget Bushcraft said our PANICD, our haunted travels, Eastern Standard Time is the only legit time zone. I can concur with
that. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
I can concur with that. I hate the California time zone. I think it's the worst thing on the planet. It was a lot easier to transfer to EST than it was back to PST. I was like, when I moved back to California, I'm like, oh, it's 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
We almost have to get them clocks and put them up here. You know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Here's what it is. PST, EST. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sit there and I try to figure out and calculate. And I'm like, no. Now, Paulie,
that's the thing about like technology, because you can like use Siri or Alexa and go, Siri, what time is it in the UK right now?
In London, England, it's 9:14 p.m.
See, now that's just creepy.
Who
is this Siri?
There's been a whole bunch of these YouTubers supposedly who have been asking Siri questions about the spirits and at haunted locations at 3 a.m. and they've gotten some crazy responses. Like, if you haven't checked those videos out, it's nuts. It's like they're using Siri's voice to say weird stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's called like don't use Siri at 3 a.m. Do not try to contact spirits through Siri. Like videos like that. It's kind of creepy.
Maybe we'll have to wait.
I don't mess with that stuff. That freaking bear is bad enough that we have.
Is Siri the I one? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say. I was trying to decide which one she was. We have Bixby. I don't like Bixby. I yell at Bixby and tell her to go away.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say maybe we should talk to Siri. You know, at Hillview in a couple days. But we don't have Siri.
We don't have Siri.
Oh, can it find my keys for me?
That would be nice.
Right?
Those things, they always fall to the bottom of a purse and everything. I don't know that you have that problem, but
okay, Siri, are there any spirits here? Yes, Sean. They're right behind you. I'd be like, oh! Why did I ask?
Indiana just started the whole time change thing a few years ago. When I was stationed in California, I could never remember when to call home. Seriously, my dad's in Georgia, down in Albany area. It's about 5 hours, 6 hours south of Atlanta, right near the Florida-Georgia line. And like every time I call him, it's at the wrong time. And I get confused still because I'm in California. When I was in North Carolina, I always knew what time to call him because I knew what time he got home from working on the base. So now that I'm in California, I'll be calling him. He's like, man, I'm still at work. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's just like, or he'll be like, I'm asleep. Why did you wake me up? And I was like, okay. I forget that you're in Georgia and I'm in California. Sorry. But yeah. Some people have Cortana. I want to see. I don't think anybody's done the Cortana. They've done the Siri, but I'd love to see the Cortana, which is, I think it's Android's version of Siri done at a haunted house at 3 a.m. That would be a cool video.
Yeah, I think Cortana is like the computer one because I have that came up on my computer.
Cortana is
Windows 10.
Yeah, ours is. We have Samsung Android phones.
We have OK Google. OK Google.
Yeah, we have OK Google. And we have Bixby, which is a
Oh,
button on the side, which I can't stand.
Like, because I don't like the OK Google thing for one, because when I used to have it installed on my older phone, I would be talking to somebody and go say something about Google, and it'd be like recording my entire conversation afterwards, and then it would bring me to some weird website, and I'd be like, what just happened? Is this? I thought the first time it happened, I thought my computer was like possessed, and I was just like, this is not normal. I know my house isn't haunted, but what is controlling my computer? And then I realized it was the OK Google thing. It's been pre-installed in my computer. Freaking out. But, glad I figured it out. Yes, I debunked the haunted Google.
There you go.
Jamie said, yeah, I do that. Oh, yeah. Jamie's called me on Google Hangouts before, and she's in Michigan and has done the same thing because of our different time zones. She actually messaged me last night, and I was at work. She thought I had already gotten off and was like, just wanted to say hi. I'm like, I can't talk right now. I'm at work. But yeah, I hate the whole time zone thing. And actually, Arizona's even more confusing because it's Pacific Standard Time and they have no daylight savings.
Yeah, see, that's where I get kind of like, ugh.
Why make it so much harder than it needs to be?
Mm-hmm.
But I really
blame old Benjamin Franklin. That's his fault.
Yes, Benjamin Franklin. That was one of his inventions. That I'm like, what were you thinking? You literally trying to confuse people to the point of insanity? But like I guess it makes sense when there was a lot of agricultural farming with like the different seasons and stuff, and they wanted an extra hour to maybe farm, and then the portion of the year they didn't need to be using that time, so they took it away an hour early. But in today's society, it really doesn't have any pertinence necessarily.
Well, that's the same thing with having the summer off in school. I think we should go year round. It's based on the same principle. You know, kids were off in the summertime to help harvest.
Right.
You know, really, either you're off in the summer months to go work on the farm to help plant and, you know, get stuff ready. And now it's like kids is like 3-4 months off of school. They come back and they like, you're starting all over again for the first month.
Yeah.
To me, it would be you go 6 weeks and have a few weeks off, and 6 weeks and have a few weeks off, and go year round. Which there's some schools in Ohio that's doing it. I think out in California too, they're doing it too, which makes sense.
Oh yeah.
But well, all right, my friend, we're gonna have to go get ready.
Absolutely. Totally understandable, and it was an absolute pleasure having you two on. It was a great first interview with you guys. I'm definitely going to have you on again because I really want to like try to get a bigger crowd to maybe talk about Gettysburg. And I love this whole Lizzie Borden thing, and that this turned out a lot better in my head than it turned out a lot better here than it did in my head. So I was really pleased to have as many people come into the chat. I was blown away by the people that stopped by and said hi. I hope I answered a lot of the people's chat questions, and I also hope I did a good job talking to you and your wife.
Oh, we had fun. We had a blast.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Marianne almost didn't make it. She actually walked in and sat down about
2 minutes,
before you went live, because I'm sitting here, you know, waiting, and she came home. She almost didn't make it.
Yeah,
I'm glad she did, because she's the Lizzie aficionado. I'd be like, I don't know.
Stop it. You know more than you think you do.
Okay, I think it was this.
I loved when she was impersonating Lizzie Borden. That was awesome.
I loved it too.
It just looked like so much fun to like be somebody else, be another character, get into like what the mindset of her the mindset of what she might have been thinking at that time, kind of get into character with somebody who acting like somebody else, like that was awesome. And that was probably one of my favorite videos I used.
We did a murder mystery dinner. I think it was in 2015.
Yeah.
It was the retrial of Lizzie Borden.
Wow.
And she played Lizzie. And I played the prosecuting attorney that found some sort of loophole to reintroduce this evidence that was thrown out of the trial and all that kind of stuff. It was a blast. We did it twice. We did it at a winery for their Halloween party type thing, and then we also did it at Hillview Manor. We did it there,
right? And
yeah, we had a great time doing it.
That's awesome.
Nobody even asked, why does Marianne have the Lizzie Borden clothing? Nobody even brought that up. That's why. It's because we did that murder mystery dinner.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
and don't forget my hatchet. I still have my hatchet too.
Careful of this one.
Yeah, try to break in our house, folks.
Yeah. She'll go all Lizzie Borden on you.
That's right.
Yeah. 40 wax.
Forget the dog. Forget the gun.
Yeah.
The wife.
I got
just and then when the police arrive, just say, "Oh, Lizzie Borden did it."
That's right.
Yeah. Spirit of Lizzie Borden and Boris.
Yeah. Lizzie Borden possessed me because I went to the house and I stole her Ouija board. Like that's a good alibi right there.
We sent it back and said make it stop. But
that is funny. Well, absolute pleasure having you on. I will get you again, and I can't wait to be on your channel. I'm so stoked. I'm sorry I couldn't do it today. I hope that
understandable.
I'll be there soon.
You got to eat. Got to go to work.
I got to eat and I got to go to work. Money over matters. So
that's the only way to pay for the ghost hunting, right?
Yes. That is how I fund my ghost hunting trips and to be able to live in this nice home.
There you go.
Yep. I hope everybody had a great day and a great time in the stream. I might be on for a few more minutes. Maybe I will do a little spirit box session with the new software. I haven't really used it all that much on this channel, but I've gotten some absolute mind-blowing responses, and not just words. I've gotten sentences off of this software that verified right there with my K2 meter. It'll go all the way to red once it actually says the sentences.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was very neat, and I can't wait to try it out at the next haunted location, which is going to be September 22nd. The video should be coming out a few days later. We'll try to live stream on my other channel, Presence of the Unknown. We are going to the Green Hotel in it's in Shafter, California, which is near Bakersfield. So definitely watch out. It used to be like a hotel. Then it was like a children's center, and there was a fire. A bunch of children died, supposedly. And so they rebuilt it, made it into a bread and breakfast now, believe it or not. And supposedly you're supposed to bring a bouncy ball. We actually got a whole bunch of them, and we're going to see if we can get them to move across the floor, because apparently that's the myth.
Baby powder too.
Yes,
yeah.
we
baby
powder too.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a very interesting investigation. And we actually will have our 6-camera 4K system with our wired-in monitor, and it'll show all the rooms at once. So definitely don't miss out. We catch some crazy stuff on those cameras, anywhere from possessions to we've caught like orb storms flying around that were not dust, because the house had just been cleaned by the maid that last house we went to, which was the Santa Maria murder house. We actually got a consultation because they can't live there anymore because it's so haunted. The husband doesn't want to believe in it, and that's why he keeps getting possessed by the negative and evil spirit that lives there. It is mind-blowingly crazy. And this is
interesting stuff.
There was actually 7 murders in that Santa Maria murder house in a I think it was in a 30-year period.
Wow.
See, so I'm just thinking like a sick joke, but I'm not gonna say it because it's your channel.
No. Hey, I
Because think after 2 or 3, people would say, "Hey, this house is named the murder house. I'm not going to go back there."
I'm not gonna live there.
loved it, the murder house. We couldn't release their actual location on our channels because we didn't have permission. We had permission to use their real names, but not the location because they don't want like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So
We've done a bunch of investigations like that too that we don't put in the database, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Alrighty. Hey, thanks for having us.
absolutely. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Take care.
See you guys.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. So does anybody want to do the does anybody want me to do a spirit box session, or is everybody good for this evening? I can do it for a little bit. And I want to have everybody thank Panic D, Our Haunted Travels, for this amazing interview. And I wanted just to thank everybody here who has monitored the account, who has been really nice and caring and loving and respectful here on HSFL Paranormal. I want to thank you to all my mods for all their hard work. No, it's all right, Francis. No problem. I understand. I'm constantly doing the same thing on other people's channels. I try to visit as much people as I possibly can. Sorry. I'm just trying to monitor everything. But 24 people still watching. We're almost 3 hours into this live stream. Just trying to make sure there's no more nasty comments here. I appreciate, let's see, Panther Paranormal, hello. Polynesian blogger, we are in the midst of Hurricane Florence in the central part of North Carolina. If everybody can please give, yeah, I did have another channel, Presence of the Unknown, but yeah, that's my paranormal team. That's our actually haunted paranormal locations team. We actually have a website too, which I'll put in the chat here. Oh, okay. I guess you have to put like the HPPS or whatever it is, but this is our website, and now I have to actually find it here. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, here it is. There's my website. You can click on that and check out our website, see some of our locations, our photos, meet some of the team members and stuff like that. It's very, very cool. We have our consultation where people can fill out a slip of paper and about their house or a building that they own that's haunted. And if they want us to come investigate it, they can click on that and investigate. Did you want me to check? Did you want me to do a spirit box session? I know it's not as popular, but I mean, I do a lot of ITC research. And a lot of people seem to like it. Because I'm really trying to test run a lot of this new this new spirit software that I got on my computer. Actually, I've had it on there for a while. I just haven't field tested it a lot because I was kind of skeptical about the developer until I cleared some stuff up with the person who created it, and I was kind of skeptical about the person who was one of their sponsors for the creation of the app. But I can tell you it's 100% real, and the communications are just something that I can't explain. But that is why I had been using Spiritus, but this far surpasses Spiritus by a long shot. Like, I have to recommend the SED2 Spirit Box software. It's only available for Windows computers. Yeah, we all need sleep, lol. Thank you for the 24 people who are still watching. The new one is called the SCD2, and it's actually not an app. It is a software. I will show you. Hey, Rudy, paranormal investigator fam. Hello. How's it going? All right. Wow. Rudy, paranormal investigator fam. You are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I just got you to the point where you only need 4 more to get to 1,000. Are you going to be the second paranormal team to get to 1,000 on my channel? That would be so cool. So if you haven't, please let's get Rudy Paranormal Investigator fam to 1K. That would be awesome. She is only 4 away right now. I like helping people out, but I will authorize who I try to support. And if you want to ask me if I could shout you out and help you get to a milestone, you can do it on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, or any of my links. She is only 4 away. Let's see here. Okay, now she's only 2 away. 2 away, and she hits 1K. I am promoting her because I love to see when people hit milestones on my channel, especially that 1K club. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's get her. And then I'm going to ask everybody to do an emoji party for Ruby when she hits 1K. And one more, people. Smash that like button. And please subscribe to Rudy. We only have 1 more subscriber she needs to hit 1K. This is unexpected. I just found out this, so let's get her to 1K. Go help support her channel out. She has an amazing looking channel. Looks like awesome content. Something I'm definitely going to have to look at. There's 1 more subscriber to 1K. Can we do it? Looks like she does some investigation, maybe some card readings, plays a little bit of Elder Scroll. So definitely, people, please go support her channel. $1K! Woo! Yay! Congratulations on hitting 1K, fam. That is awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome to the 1K club, my friend. We'll try to do this for a little bit. Try to show you the software and see if we can get it to interact intelligibly. Yeah, Bakersfield Paranormal Services, they're on a purge, and that basically what YouTube's doing is trying to get all of your dead subscribers away. So it's almost kind of a good thing, but it sucks because you'll see your numbers drop. But they are unsubscribing a lot of your dead subscribers. But yes, congrats. Let's have like an emoji party for her 1K. Let's throw some fireworks up, do that kind of stuff. That is awesome. So if anybody can't see here real quick, this is actually the SCD2 app, and I'm trying to focus it. This has built-in guitar pedals for reverb and pitch, also a DDR60 voice recorder simulator built into the computer. Also, it has a volume update, a volume switch, and also it is only connected to the internet, so it only focuses on real radio waves. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a spirit box session, but I hope everybody likes that thing. It is super, super nice. Yes, thank you everybody for helping out. Woohoo! I am one away now from 1,200 supporters. Wow. Yeah, YouTube's acting a little funky. I think we can all agree with. I am one away only from 1,200 supporters. No. This app is absolutely not free. This app is over $20. Look up the SCD2 ghost hunting software and you'll find it. I think they're probably doing it like last time I checked it was 24. They might have dropped it again, so it might be like $19.99 or something. Who knows? It was like $23.99 when it was almost 30 when it first came out. Now they've lowered it to a different amount, but it is really cool. I am just one subscriber away from 1,200. I cannot believe that. It wasn't all that long ago that I was. Yeah, it wasn't all that long ago. I was like, I think it was like less than 3 months ago. I was at like 200 subscribers. So that is awesome. So I will do the Spirit Box app. I'm going to try to hook up my Bluetooth to it as well. I don't know if you might be able to hear it or not. Hello, spirits. Is there anybody here who would like to speak with me? If so, could you say your name?
Kansas live here. Is he still at the window? He's sitting on the windowsill.
I need a girl who has lost a mink coat, a man and a cross which has lost its light.
A cross that has lost its light? That was kind of weird. A cross that has lost its light. And then something about a girl and a boy.
I give them my speech. This is up here first. See the gravel on the tops of those? It's gray, not green or brown. Nothing has grown on the rocks yet. Those rocks.
That's radio. I'm going to make it a little harder for them to
20
speak.
years ago, when I started this job, nobody is called Claire. She says,
There's
the door is closed, and we have to equalize the air pressure.
the door is closed and we have to equalize the air pressure.
He at no time fully described this.
Turn on the lights by the door. Through the door. But it...
Its temperature, oddly enough, was not greatly up. Even some...
Woohoo! I just hit 1,200 subscribers, everybody. Wow, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for all the love and kindness and support. That is so awesome. Assigned to Mary?
There is a paper tied to his tail. Message.
That's Art Bell?
He returned to his quarters in 3. This was fast, wasn't it? Train streaming and vanished with his recovery.
Something about vanished with recovery or something? She's got the gun. Maybe that's the lady who killed her husband in the murder-suicide. Oh, she's got the gun.
Suggestion would be Amazon.com.
Okay, the spirits don't... This is radio. The Amazon.com thing was radio.
Know a lot about the book business.
No, I'm not at 12,000 subs. I'm at 1,200 subs. I wish I was at 12K. That would be awesome.
It was mine. And the dates of any notable visions for some time past.
Oh my god. Cardiac tap. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for the awesome, awesome donation. I don't ask for donations. They're nice when I do receive them, but sorry, spirits. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. If that's even spirits. I don't really feel much energy anyway, but if Cardiac Tap, if you're still here with me, I just wanted to thank you so much. I just noticed that right now. Much love. Seriously. I don't ask for donations, but I am grateful when I do receive them. Thank you. Wow. Oh, look.
The Belmont, room 616. The time, 8:30. Good. Any questions? Yes. This is courier work. We have specialists trained for this work. Why big league? This job requires the single talent of being able to give the impression that you're anything but a courier. And since you've never done it before, you've been chosen. Huh?
Okay, Francis Urban Spirits and Vlogs. I'm gonna text you after I finish with this live stream. I have some important stuff. Same with Sharpshooter, the Man Fam. I have some important information. So just want to let you know that I am going to be sending you some information. Hey, if these are spirits, they know how to rock. Aww. Deborah the Fam. Unless we could get away. Yeah, this is all radio, so I don't know what's going on with the Spirit app. It's just, there's nothing really around here, but I like the music. It got in that groove a little bit. So I wonder if that was Art Bell. Okay, I just closed my computer and it's still playing. I turned it off. Strange. Um, yeah, I wonder if that was Art Bell trying to maybe come through the spirit box, or that was just random. Was he shot by chance? Strange. Did you mean paranormal or phenomenal? Because it was probably pretty bad. It must have been pretty bad because it got a dislike. So, oh well. Sorry if I upset you with my dancing skills, but I really don't think there was anything on that. I don't think there's any like real spiritual activity right now here. I mean, I can try one more thing to see. I do need to replace the batteries again in my EMF reader soon. But yeah, that I had where it was actually coming through. It sounded better when I hooked up my Bluetooth speaker and I was actually getting stuff. Yeah, I'll send it to you after the thing, after the live stream, Francis, and the sharpshooter, the man fam. But I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. My house is haunted. I do have some crazy stuff that has definitely been confirmed in my house, and many of you have seen my EMF reader go off by itself without anything interfering or touching it. But this is a really cool app. It's daytime, so there's usually less activity. They usually get more active like when I get home and I can start sensing things. My dancing was awesome. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I am only 4 away. I'd like to see if I could get to maybe 90. I am only 4 away from that 90 supporter mark. So could you? Yeah, I did go on Boomer's panel actually. That's where I first tested that, and then that's when we heard coast to coast EVPs. That literally the spirit said coast to coast EVPs because me and him were talking about the fact that I was in California and he was in New York, and we were talking about spirit boxes, and then it said coast to coast EVPs. I was like, that cannot be a coincidence. Yeah, it's probably another stupid troll. I've already been on Boomer's panel before. I'm trying to see here. No official report. It came out and took. Wow, Bakersfield Paranormal Services. That's crazy. Yeah. See, this is where I'm not making any money, Bill Benson. Like, people donate stuff to me once in a while. Like, $11 is not making myself any money. That doesn't support me financially whatsoever. So I don't know where you're getting this from. It's just unbelievable. See, this is why I have my suspicions about this Bill Benson character. Let me yeah, this is. Thank you so much, James, for getting to that so quick. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got a screenshot of that to archive so I could send stuff to YouTube because this has got to stop. Sorry. All right, I think I'm about done with this. Unfortunately, we have that issue, but thank you so much, James, for attacking that so quickly. I will be sending you what somebody had sent me on an email just to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on, all my mods. I'd like to try to get all my mods at one point on Google Hangouts and have a one-on-one with them to discuss all these issues. So I hope everybody had a great time today. Mike Thomas, hello, my friend. Welcome to the channel. I do want to have a talk with people, but I think I'm going to head off now. It is just about the 3-hour mark. I hope everybody had a good time. I was hoping I could get those three more likes to get to 90. But it looks like, I mean, there's still 30 people on here. It sucks to leave with almost 30 people watching right now. I really don't want to, but I got to start getting ready for work. Yeah, thank you, Francis Spirits and Kitties, the Sharpshooter, the Man Fam, PSPR Paranormal Pursuit, Michelle Koyak. Trying to see who else. It's a majority of my mods that are up here right now. Panther Paranormal. Yeah, so thank you to all my Blue Wrench people for working really, really hard. Yeah, I gotta go get ready for work. I hope everybody had a great time on this stream. I am only 2 away, so if you haven't, smash that like button, and I'll catch you next time. I will be going live on Monday for Meditation Mondays, number 8, I believe. So take care, everybody. Good luck, and take care. Bye.